means our information is reaching out to the whole planet. And so, hi everyone on YouTube. This is our fifth night, fifth day in action, learning about the True the Stars Oracle. And I call it an oracle for a reason. A lot of times, Coach Gio and BB and OD and Anna, we think that astrology just means the stars and the constellations, right? That's all we think about. But have you noticed that over the last 5 days, what have we learned? Did we just learn about shapes and signs and symbols, or have we been learning about something deeper? Right. Have we been actually accessing soul information, right? Getting down to the bedrock of who each of you are, truly. Even people I don't know, right? Because I know how to read the map. I know how to read the language, la lengua de astrología. See? Sí. So that lengua es el mundo. See? Because estrellas is the lengua of the stars, right? It's the language of all of us. No matter what country, what world we all look up at the same sky. Isn't that amazing? So no matter where we are, what culture we're a part of, what lengua, what language we speak, the stars are something we all see. Every night when the sun sets, we all see stars. And those stars have been a guidepost for our ancestors for thousands of years. They've been the navigation system, right? And if the stars can be a map to get us from point A to point B, they also can be a map for our soul, a map for our purpose, a map for where we're heading and what we're doing in this life. And would you agree that you've been noticing that that's possible? Yeah, and so that's why I'm so passionate to share this, because it really does reveal. Hi, Gun. Hi, welcome from Norway. Norway is here, and Chile, and Florida, and Canada, and California. I love this. This is the most joyful thing, is to bring so many people together. But the truth is, we all have the same sky. We all have the same sky. And so it helps us to have a common language, in a sense, that we all have. We all have access to, and we all can learn. And so I'm so proud of everyone, because yes, it's a lot of energy for me, but I know all of this information. I know it like the back of my hand. I could probably teach you this course sleeping and have the best time ever. And I don't say that to be arrogant. I say that because when we truly know something, it's a gift we can give to others, right? Who do we listen to? Who are the best people to listen to? Those who have what we want and have been where we are. And so those are the best teachers. And I would imagine that on some level, we're very similar. If you found me as a teacher, we have things in common, right? And so I can bring you information of, thank you, Coach. I can bring you information from over, gosh, 25 years of experience looking at these charts, talking to my mom about compatibility between people. As a teenager, okay, a little secret here, I got into astrology, astrología, because I found love. And I said, oh, I could do their astrología chart too. And so that I was off to the races. I suddenly had a reason to learn something, right? And as many young women and women will attest, and some men as well, for some of us, relationships are really what we're inspired by. So that could be our love relationship, that could be our friendships, that could be with our children, that could be with our family. And so tonight's class is really about giving you some basics on how do we use a chart to predict love? How do we use a chart to actually predict someone that we're attracted to? What are they going to be like? Kind of cool, right? Like we can see that in a chart. Like, are you for real? Yes, you can actually even begin to predict where you might meet them, like a location, right? And so that it's very exciting. As a teenager, I was excited about this. And then you can also find out what are some of the core aspects between you and your partner that if you have them, oh my God, that was the replay just finishing editing. That's funny. So that would be from last night. Confirmation. So when you have the basic information, you can know, are you in a relationship that may last or will not? Okay. And nothing, I want to say this now. Nothing is cut in stone, especially with relationships and love. Amor, amore, right? Amor, it's love. Love, all is fair in love and war, they say. And there's a reason for that. One is fate, destiny, and karma. So there's kind of two sides to compatibility. One, energetically, planetary, sign-wise, how do your planets and signs relate to each other? That's number one. But then number two, what about your karma? Maybe you're not at all well suited to this person at all, but you chose as a soul to come in and work some stuff out. So sometimes we're in relationships because we're resolving things. And so I don't want people to just go and break up with a spouse if they don't have this perfect thing. It's more about information. Like if you're dating and you're sort of comparing it, okay, I can notice this is happening and this is happening. And we're having compatibility here, but we're not having compatibility here. And a lot of times the chart can show us that. Like we can look at how do two people's Mercuries relate? And that's communication. We can look at how do two people's moons relate? And that's emotion. How do two people's suns relate? That's soul purpose. Okay. And then how does your sun with their moon? That's soul to emotion. I have found in my experience, one of the best dichotomies for a male-female relationship, or it could be masculine energy, female energy. It doesn't matter what sex, it's just feminine energy, masculine energy. For the masculine being to be the sun and the feminine to be moon. Because men in general, the masculine energy likes to lead. It likes to lead. Okay, that's the energy of masculine energy is leadership. It's action. Yes, as women, we have masculine energy too. Okay, we are a balance of both. However, in a polarity-filled relationship, okay, between a man and a woman, do we want it to be the same? No, that would be boring, right? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We are attracted because we're so opposite, because we're so different. Right. So then if we look at the chart and we see the man has his sun in one sign and the woman has the moon in relationship to his sun, either opposite or same, that, according to research in an amazing book that I've read, reveals lasting, like friendship at a very profound, deep level. And if you've been in a marriage coach for 33 years, you probably know that you need to have friendship at a very deep level for it to work. Like you need to have that kind of connection because marriage is not an easy path. You're with someone every day. You have to navigate each other's wants and desires and likes, and it's a lot. One person is a lot, let alone two people's Rubik's cubes interacting and triggering each other off throughout everything, right? So hats off to you for having achieved 33 years to both of you. That's absolutely amazing. And what a pretty picture, BB. That's beautiful. I bet you two were very in love when you met. Am I right? You're supposed to say
Yep.
yes.
I've been trained.
She she looks like a movie star in that picture. To me, that's what I see. Okay. So, anyone have any like we're not going to answer it right now, but I want to ask if you were to what would you want to know about relationships and love tonight? If you could focus in on any aspect of it, like when am I going to meet that special person? What's my ideal mate like? What's my best expression of compatibility? What anything to do with love, romance, or relationship? What sector or arena of that would you be interested in learning about for fun? You can go first, Anna. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you see, because already now at my age, can you see there the second marriage in the chart? Like you can see the,
Yes. And that brings up a really great question or answer or more information, which are that there are many types of charts one can do. One can do a present time chart, which is based on the day, like today's energy, right? Yeah. We can also do a progress chart. So we can do a chart for you based on your first marriage. We could do a chart for you based on your potential second marriage. There are many options for types of charts one can do. So one can look at the past with the chart, one can look at the future, and one can look at the present. The chart has the ability, like I've made a chart for 2020, 2228 ones on accident, mind you. I didn't realize I could do that. But I did. And I went, I can do that. Yeah. So I don't use a chart for predicting the future because I think the future is in our hands and that every single moment we're creating it. And so we can give ideas of potentials and how things might go, and we can get an idea of what our chart will look like in the future or what the chart will be in the future. But how that will all totally play out, I like to leave some of the magic in the mystery. But you can do what are called progressed read. Yeah, nothing is set in stone. Thank the good Lord. We are just constantly able to create new realities as we choose. It's a profound gift and privilege to have that as our ability set, right? Okay, so in terms of wanting to know about the second marriage, one thing you can look at is your progress chart. And so what is a progress chart? A progress chart is when you add basically one day to the day you were born. So let's say you were born on the 15th of May. You add one day for each year you've been alive. And let's say you've been born 30 years. Okay, so you'd add 30 days to that 15th of May, right? So you'd be around the 15th of June, and that would be your progress birthday. Okay. Now with the software that I use, you can just hit progress chart. So you take your birth chart and then you just hit a little button and it says progress chart, and it gives you your chart based on that formula. Yeah, and a lot of you have probably never even heard of this. And I don't do progress readings in this in this class. In my training, I will be teaching how to do that. Because learning your basic astrology chart, right? Learning your basic birth chart is enough to start when you're in the beginning phases of learning. Yay, Anna, learning this information. Yeah, you're like, where did the answer go to my question?
oh, was it me only? Because it just, I think it was the Wi-Fi or everybody happened.
No, it was just you left
Oh,
for a minute for whatever
no,
reason.
the Wi-Fi just went. I was like,
I
oh
know.
my God, it froze. And then you were
What
gone.
about my question? Right. So
No.
I was sharing with everyone that a progress chart would probably be because you want to know about the possibility of a new partner, right? Yeah, like a new relationship. So one way what we can look at is where are the planets right now and how do they land in your birth chart? Are you ready? Is your seventh house highlighted? Seventh house. That is the marriage house. Yeah. Seventh house. So we're going to dive into the seventh house tonight. We're going to, hold on one second. We're going to dive into the rulership of the seventh house. We're going to look at everyone's chart. We're going to kind of give you a download about relationship and love. And so if you are having challenges manifesting a relationship or amor, one thing to look at is the opposite house of the seventh house, which is the first house, because they're in polarity to each other. So if there's an issue and challenge in one, well, there may be in the other one. Exactly. Okay, Coach, what was your question?
No, it wasn't a question. I was just saying me.
Yo,
I have something on the seventh house.
oh, me, yes, yes. Well, my guess is if you're on this call, you probably have something in your seventh house, because people with planets in their seventh house, they like other people. In fact, we do better with other people. We feel more fulfillment when we have planets in the seventh house. We need relationships. We do. And Odie's probably laughing because I don't think you have that many planets in the seventh. And she's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Zero.
Zero. Yeah, so if you don't have any planets, that doesn't mean you're not going to have anything in about that house in your life. It just means it's not the huge emphasis of this life. It's not like, the big deal for you. It's not the big focus. However, you can look at the rulership of that house. Okay, you can look at the rulership of that seventh house and see where the planet is. And by seeing where that planet is, then you can start to build a story, right? Then you can kind of create the narrative of, oh, this is what that means. So yeah, so we'll look at your chart, Anna. Anyone else have anything that they're just super curious about relationships and what the chart can show? I'm curious to see what people are excited about. Yeah, Odie, go ahead.
If we get the chance to look at my chart tonight, I was looking, you told us everything on the axis to the right-hand side was relating with external and others. Yeah. Most of them are empty, but those that do have planets, they're all, not even one, they're all retrograde. What does that mean?
Yep.
What?
Okay. Right. So a lot of people have some retrograde planets when they were born. Most everyone. So that's not uncommon. That's fairly common. What it means, what do they mean? I've noticed that they tend to mean that we have things to resolve, and what those planets' energies are and what sign that they're in can give us a sense of things we're here to finish up, like karma, right? Samskaras, things that we carried over as on our workload, things to accomplish while also attempting to live a life and provide for ourselves and eat and, have a life. So they can tend to be deep, like deep things. And so that could be why there's not so many energies on that chart, as you might have some deep threads that you're resolving. And so we can kind of look at that. Now, deep threads are not always so fun, right? Because they're buried so deep, we tend to not notice them. 2, it's very easy to suppress them. And 3, they tend to feel a bit stuck, like a root in the ground, that you have to do a lot of digging to get it out. However, when you do, it's like you've liberated yourself, like on a huge level, right? It's like being unbounded, unleashed, so to speak. Right? So that's one thing that they can mean, because retrograde relates to the past. Okay, so we can kind of delve into a couple. That will be kind of an interesting thing to delve into, which is when a planet is retrograde. Let's say it's like, what is the character of each planet when it's retrograde? Right? And how does that affect how we feel? Okay. Anyone else have any questions before we get started here on love and relationships, sort of what you're sort of curious about jumping into tonight? Go ahead, Gun. Yep.
Can you see also if there it's a twin flame or a soulmate?
That's a good question. Sorry. I, I, oh gosh, why am I laughing?
I don't
Uh,
know.
I am laughing because yes, yes, you can. And yes, I have thought about this a lot. And so I just was unprepared for the question because one of, I think, my future coaching sides is actually assisting people into soul love partnerships and assisting them to clear the blocks between them and their soul, their divine partner. It's an uncanny gift, and it tends to show up in just friends and people I'm close to. I suddenly become involved in their connections, and then they get back together and they call each other and they talk again. I'm like, oh, yep. So it's just a little bit of a gift. And I had one client. Oh, this was a good one, you guys. This was so good. I did a session with him. We're working on his love relationship. It was so sweet. It was so touching. He's so in love with this woman, like on a soul level. And we finished the clearing, and he gets a text message that she's outside his front door. And they had not been talking. And I was just like, and that was the same day. Sometimes I do sessions out in nature that this huge deer with antlers was walking around me while I'm doing this call with him. It was like another dimension. So when you asked me that, I don't know, something kind of clicked in my brain around how special of a practice that would be to focus in on that and hone in on that with the soul partners. I would say, to answer your question right off the bat, like how would you even maybe see that? Is that I would imagine that people who the divine partnership is a big part of their life path may have a lot of planets in the seventh house, which is partnership and relationship. Now, if you do not have any partners in the relationship house, I would imagine that the right partner for you would have a ton of planets in the seventh house and would be your mirror. So there could be someone out there, OD, who would have a ton of things on the right-hand side, who would just, it would be like a puzzle. And so that might be a sign if you met someone, yeah, that, oh, you have exactly the places I don't have anything in my chart. Oh, that's interesting. But love is such a multifaceted thing, especially soulmate and twin flame love. Okay. And so another thing to look at is our own identity and our connection to self-love. So looking at our soul planets, our soul purpose, are we aligning to our soul purpose? Little secret. If you are here to have a divine soul twin flame connection, chances are you will have to be plugged into your soul purpose before that could ever become a solid reality. And so the study of the midheaven, the sun, and then the other soul planet points that I will be sharing in my upcoming masterclass are very helpful. And I can't give all of them away because I have to leave something that I haven't shared with you yet for my training. Okay? But it's all about us. And then the partner, the seventh house, is the mirror, right? They're really just a mirror. And so what we're looking at when we look at the seventh house is, what will our mirror be like? What are the characteristics of that mirror? And then we typically meet someone and they're like, oh my God, they're exactly like what I was looking for. Oh, well, that's kind of nice. Nice to meet you. Okay. So yes, and I would say with twin flames and soulmates, one of the best ways to see it in action is to see both the people's charts. And because you'll probably see things crossing like this. Dun, 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 dun. They'll have like connections and like perfect, like kind of like they may have sun and moon together, right? More than likely. Or opposite. Yeah, go ahead, Anna. Do you have a question?
No, I was just gonna mention, so it's like you said yesterday that if you have the sun and moon in the same sign, something like
Or
that, right?
opposite. Or
Or
opposite.
opposites.
Yes, and
Okay.
in fact, it's the opposite that's way sexier. Yeah. Yeah, because men and women are in polarity already. So sameness is good. It's going to be profound friendship at a deep level. But when they're opposite, oh my word, it's like that positive and negative battery repeating itself between the energetics of the sun and the moon. Yeah, this is my passion project. Today, I didn't know how to get it out to everyone, but today is really like love and relationship is my passion for helping relationships and partners really see how they fit together, and also for people who are single to get a better idea of how love might land in your life. So I'm happy you all are here. This is the funnest night for me. And so I will get started here. Our information is reaching out. I apologize. Hold on 1 second. So hi, I don't know. Oh, I see what happens. When I post onto YouTube, it immediately opens the YouTube channel page, and then all of a sudden it will start playing. I don't know why. So my apologies. Okay, there we go. That's good. Welcome everyone on YouTube. Feel free to comment or ask questions. Okay, so here we go. We're going to just do a little introduction, officially start the class, and then woohoo, we can get started here. So now we've gotten the idea in terms of what all of you are interested in learning about. So here we are. We're on day 5 of unlocking the Oracle of Your True the Stars chart. And tonight is all about love. It's all about relationship and compatibility. And how do we find that in our chart? And how do your charts reveal the potential identity or way of being of your partner? And so I've been studying this very closely since I was about 15 years old. And I've been watching in my own relationships and in those that I see their charts with. And I have noticed that one of the things I'm going to share with you tonight to be highly predictive of whether or not those two people can make it through the long haul. And if they don't have that one thing, there's typically this other pattern that I've found. So there's like 2 main patterns I've seen that really seem to be like glue. And so I'm going to share those 2 with you tonight, which is exciting. This is powerful information. So hold on to your seats. We're going to unlock the Oracle of Love tonight. Oh, that's a good name. Oracle of Love. We're going to use the gears of this astrological chart. Remember, there's how many different components to make a chart work? There's the signs, there's the aspects, there's the planets, the houses, and they're all just gears of a clock, like a Rubik's Cube, and you put them together and you get the whole story. So I'm just going to briefly share a short video of clients that I've worked with around the energy work that we've been doing over the last couple of nights. So you guys have experience, you've noticed that's pretty powerful, right? So I just wanted to share some other people's stories from working with me as a inspiration for getting us even more excited about tonight. And then we'll just launch on into it. So just relax, enjoy this little brief intro.
I just finished an sidereal astrology reading with Lotus and also a clearing session. We cleared stuff that came up from my astrology chart, and before the clearing I was feeling pain in my back, and in the end I was just so peaceful place, so calm and so centered that yeah, it's even hard to find words. Thank you, Lotus. I'm really, really, really grateful that you are the way you are. Thank you.
I would not believe it. Somebody told me that this is possible. I would not believe, Lotus. I would not. Seriously. Wow. I can fly, I can swim, I can... I appreciate it, and it's mind blowing. I don't even know what to say. I'm speaking. Thank you so much.
In so much of the work that we did together, where you helped me. I'm emotional now because it is maybe coming full circle. It's truly amazing, and I'm so grateful because you don't just go on the surface, you go deep, and that can be really challenging and incredibly healing. Honoring that truth and taking the time that I need to heal and to fill my own cup and then be there for other people. And yeah, there's so much. I'm so grateful, Lotus. So grateful.
I feel so good. Wow.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Lotus. You have confirmed to me what I thought, that we are on the right track. We really are. We really are. Oh man, thank you so much for this. Changed my life.
Lotus, it's been almost a month since I had my last session with you. I had 4. And I wish I could put in words what it's been like this last month. I don't know that I could, but I want to attempt to do it. I just feeling a lot lighter. I'm not feeling the closed area that I used to feel in my throat. I feel like I'm more open, more able to express myself, which was one of the things I told you. Amazing how I'm feeling now. And it's been for a whole month. I thought, oh, maybe after a week it will go away. But I haven't had any of those feelings of being closed and not able to express myself. And here I am telling you, I can't even tell you what it is, but I am. When I'm in with people, I feel like I can just say things a little bit better and I don't feel so closed up. So whatever it is, I really thank you for giving me the sessions and letting me work with you. And I just wanted to let you know that I still feel that feeling that I guess I told you about right after that session. So thank you very much.
Thank you. We love you too. And blessings to you. Yeah, too. Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.
I
just.
So, what I thought we could do is go around and we could rate our number on the love scale. Because we might do kind of like a big love clearing for fun. And so, what we're going to look at, so what are we gauging here? So, on a scale of 0 to 10, how fulfilled we feel in our love life. And I don't know, Coach Gio and BB, maybe you can enter into under different names so that you can have anonymity.
No, I'll say 0. Time to recycle.
What? 10. Yeah, I didn't even give the right numbers here. Hold on. You can get in trouble here. 10 being you feel amazing about your love life. And 0, you don't feel good at all. Okay. And this could be like, let's say you're single, you could still feel great about your love life. You could just feel great. I just feel great. I'm at a 10, even though, or you could be in a relationship and be at a 2, right? So it doesn't matter whether you're in a relationship or not. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing because your husband or wife is here, I understand. And you just get your own number and write it down. Oh, we got it. We got like an 8. All right. Okay, Coach, you got an 8 rating. That's pretty good, man. Way to go. Good job. Okay. So, okay, we got a 7. So we're just going to get these. We got an 8. So people are feeling pretty good about their love lives right now. That's good to know. That's good information. So ideally, I'm at a 10. Who's at a 10? Way to go, Odie. Yeah, I'm a 10. Peace and joy in my heart. Wow. You might just have to you might attract some love in at this level. on behalf of my friends. So, uh-oh, 8 and 9. So we're gonna do a little clearing of throat, clearing of energy by the end here. And just we'll see where we're at the end, because one of the things that can happen with the chart reading is that when you know information about your partner, it can help a lot to create more acceptance and more love for each other. Like I was with my parents and I was giving them a hard time because they're separated for 30 years. And I said, so did you know that you have your moon in Virgo and your sun is in Sag and they're like square each other? And my mom was like, oh, that's like we're like allergic to each other. And they both had this huge laugh. They laughed so hard. And it felt like they got through whatever their stuff was with each other. It was amazing, you know, and it was just acknowledging, yeah, we have a challenge with our ability to connect. And that's okay, right? And so sometimes it can be as good as finding out, oh, we have some really great aspects. Oh, well, I wasn't focusing on our good stuff. I was focusing on the challenges. And now, because you're reminding me about the good stuff, I'm changing my focus. And now all of a sudden, I'm going from a 7 to a 10 or whatever, right? And so it's all about what we focus on. It is in relationships, and it's all about communication. So without further ado, let's get into this. Let's talk about love. Let's get your love questions answered. I'm excited. How about you? Yeah. So, and this is great because this is from a couple who were in my very first masterclass. They're actually out in Finland. So in my first masterclass, I had a married couple and they were awesome. They loved the class so much. And I loved what Pyrette had to say. She said, I'm so grateful that Lotus was able to teach us today. So powerful. I'm still amazed at what information can be accessed about a person from just looking at the real position of the sky elements at the time of one's birth. It was all worth waking up at 3:40 a.m. to participate. Thank you, Lotus. You are amazing. And so thank you. Big appreciation to you, Pyrette, and to you, Tanu, and to everyone who gets up earlier across the planet to watch this. Thank you. I'm so honored. I'm so grateful that you're all here. So without further ado, let's get into the heart of things. Let's tune into love and how it is found in the astrological chart. Okay, and what are we going to look at? Oh yeah, love, love, love. Love. Okay, I'm going to see here. Na, 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 na. Christy, you're up first, my friend. Okay, and I don't think we got to last night, so that's perfect. So did you have any questions about love?
I'm sure I have lots. I don't know right exactly at this moment in time. I was caught off guard. I have little nerves distracting me. So that's why I've kind of been like, I've been listening, but I had my phone down, you know?
Okay, well, would you like to go now or you want to wait till later?
Do you want me to have a specific question?
Well, why don't you just allow yourself to remember what you were gonna be interested to ask?
Okay.
You got this. It'll come. Okay, we'll come back, Christy. You come up with a question.
Okay. Okay.
And be ready, and we'll come back to you. So, Goon.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, Goon, what is your question about love and romance? If you had one, what would it be?
My question was if we were twin flame or soulmates, or if we can see that, but I don't have my husband's chart.
Oh, you have a husband.
I have a husband, yeah.
Oh, congratulations. How long have you been married?
Long time.
Long time.
I have to think about this. So it gotta be a long time. Since 2020. No, 2002.
Oh my gosh,
2002.
that's a very long time. Yes,
It's a very long time.
okay. So one thing that, jumps out at me right away for you
Yeah.
is that you have so many planets on the right-hand side of your chart, which
What
means,
does that mean? Yeah.
so the left-hand side is individual. It's our sort of individual drive. It's our individual focus. Whereas the right-hand side is our relationships. Yeah. So when you have that many planets on one side, you tend to be very relationship focused,
Okay.
right? So that would mean that like marriage and partnership are something that you're very interested in and that you excel at and that you're here to learn about is that connection with you and other people. And so you may need like a lot of contact with others as opposed to being someone who is, goes off and retreats a lot, right? You love contact with other people, you love to connect to people, to talk, to communicate, to share information. Well, I can ask you this, when is your husband's birthday?
19th of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would mean that his son, oh, okay. His son, let's see. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. His son is right between your first and second house, which is identity and worth and value. And so he probably brings a lot of value into your life.
Yeah.
And in the form of abundance, in the form of value.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to tell us a little more about that?
Well, I don't work at the moment, and he do all the working, so he brings in all the
All
above.
right. All right. Well, awesome. He's designed to do so, right? That's where he lights up your chart is in the house of money and finances. So, awesome. I wouldn't feel bad about this. I would just see that as, what you are learning about. This is interesting because your midheaven is in a different house than most people. So it's not in the 10th house, it's not in the 9th house, it's in the 8th house, which is other people's money.
Really?
Yes. Yes. And this is a weird one because people can get real bent out of shape about this whole topic. But if you have a lot of 8th house planets, you've probably been a builder in other lifetimes, and you were the one who provided and did all that to create that material wealth. But it looks like more your focus is in the 8th house, which is partnering with someone else who already has that wealth and abundance and receiving sort of like support from them on a monetary level. And so because that's your midheaven, it's like your midheaven revolves around working with other people. It's Aquarius, so that's friendship. So that's like the world. It's like working with a lot of people potentially. But them supporting you, right? Them providing for you, you not being the one making all the money, but rather receiving it. And so maybe the big lesson you're learning is about receiving, as opposed to needing to be the provider this time. Not that you won't be, not that you can't be, but looking over at your 7th house, you have the sun there. And so this is an interesting lesson. So whatever planets you have in your 7th house, they relate to what your partner will be like. Okay?
Okay.
So the fact that you have the sun there means that they'll have a sunny energy. And your husband, sun sign is Leo, which is the sun.
That's true. His sign is Leo, yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And so the planets that are in the 7th house often describe what our partner will be like. Amazingly. Yeah. So,
Wow.
so if the sun is there, they're going to be big, they're going to be bright, they're going to be shiny, they could be a Leo sun sign. That's what it can mean if you have the sun in the seventh house. You also have Mercury in the seventh house. So he's probably both shiny and bright and has big energy. And he also is a communicator.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does a lot of communication.
Yeah.
And then it's in Capricorn, which is business and mastery. And so he's probably very successful in the business world, shining and being like a leader, being like the head, and
Yeah.
communicating. And so that's what we see here in your seventh house of partnership. Now, what's really interesting is that you ask about twin flames and soulmates. And so there is one house in particular besides the seventh house that I always go to when I'm thinking about twin flames and soulmates, because one of the things that can happen with twin flames and soulmates is a divine love connection, like tantra, sex, intimacy, all that kind of stuff. And so the house related to that is the eighth house.
Mhm.
And that's where your midheaven, which is your like star of your Christmas tree, is. And so you would have a very profound interest in intimacy, in soulmates, in twin flames, and in deep love connection. Like that would be something that might be a career for you, is actually learning how to work with those energies,
Okay.
with the collective, because it's an Aquarius, so working online, perhaps teaching people about intimacy or sexuality or tantra, or teaching partners how to be more intimate with one another, right? And you have a very long background of being married, which is always good when you're attempting to go out there and teach partners, right? You would have that kind of, I guess, believability because you've maintained a relationship for so long. So it's a very good authority that you have, or skill.
I never thought of that.
Yes, right. The things that we have that we've never realized are actually very powerful, right? The fact that you have been married for so many years, and it sounds like happily,
Yeah.
then that would explain why you would have ability to coach others on this.
Hmm.
And so that could explain your interest in wanting to know if you're in that kind of love relationship, because you may be feeling called to maybe work with others around this. And one way that the eighth house can do it is through astrology, because the eighth house is the house of astrology, and Aquarius is a sign related to astrology. So you actually have a very good midheaven for being an astrologer. Incidentally, I'm not trying to say you're all very good at being astrologers. I'm just trying to tell you what ways would make you good at them so that you would know. You also have your sun moon midpoint in Aquarius, which is the center. It's between the moon, your emotional self, and the sun. And I often think of this as being like your quintessential self, like your very core. You might not be visible. You might not always show it to people, but it's like at the core of you would be this Aquarius energy. And so you'd be very into new age technology, into new age vision, new age concepts. However, it's in the eighth house, so you'd also be a bit mysterious, a bit secretive, a bit private, a bit hidden. So it's an interesting combination, really. It's a very interesting combination, but it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful, and it makes sense that you would ask that question, because it's the house of intimacy and love and tantra. It's the house of tantra. So you might really enjoy learning about Kundalini yoga, or raising the Kundalini energy, and how couples can do that. My mom was a Kundalini yogi for 10 years in Los Angeles. And she would do these practices with partners. They would have these big events where they would stand facing each other in like these rows of people with their white turbans, dressed all in white. And they would come and stand on one foot, and they would put their hands out and touch opposite palm to palm and opposite foot to foot. And then they would do like a breath practice, like breath of fire, like for hours and gaze into each other's eyes for hours. And that
Mm.
is like the epitome of eighth house tantric intimacy building, energy moving couples, partners activity. I know most people have never heard of this.
Oh, really?
Yes, but
I've heard of it.
you have. Okay, good. So it's there you go. There you go. So that would be something for you to investigate that might turn on some light bulbs in terms of your work and your purpose and kind of what you're here to do, right?
Hmm.
Which you may have never thought of before.
No.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
No.
Any questions still?
Well, yeah, I still wonder if I could figure out if he's a twin flame or a soulmate. But I think what you said was that it is a big chance of that, but I need his chart to kind of see that, or
Right. Yeah. So in terms of predicting like long-term compatibility, the having both charts is very helpful. The fact that his sun is in Leo and that you have the sun in your seventh house tells me that he satisfies a requirement that you have in terms of what you're kind of looking for in a partner.
yeah, I'm satisfied.
But in terms of twin flame and soulmate, it definitely is very helpful to see both charts. Yeah, and in future, I think this day I should invite as many couples as possible so we can take a look, whoever's willing to join us, right? So yeah. But are you wondering if there's a difference between like a soulmate versus a twin flame in a chart?
Yeah, if you can see it, I know it's a difference.
Yeah. So here's what I would say about that. What is a soulmate? What is a twin flame? This is a big topic, right?
Yeah.
Well, my sense with the soulmate, and everyone has a different point of view on this, is going to be someone that you're compatible with, that you could work well with. Maybe you have a lot of harmonious things, but I don't think you're going to have necessarily the same level of activations in the chart. Like you might have a lot of planets being in a harmonious relationship, like what is called a sextile or a trine or a square, which that square is not very easy, but a lot of trines, maybe like similar elements, similar energies. It's easy to get along with them. However, you might not have like the magnetism, like you might have more polarity with like a twin flame. Like things are directly opposite and there's a lot of them, right? You're like in total polarity to this person. And so imagine, having someone that you're totally in polarity to is not a cakewalk. Because you're literally like two sides of the same coin with completely different perspectives on everything. Well, how do you live a life together?
That's difficult.
It is difficult.
Yeah.
So at the same time, though, imagine a positive battery and a negative battery coming together. Well, you could power a small toy car, right? You could power something, you could move something. And so it has the ability to move us spiritually better than anything on the planet.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So I would say that would maybe be a signpost for people like, okay, is this person a twin flame or are they more of a soulmate? Soulmate, more compatible, easier connections, but not as like magnetic.
More like a friend.
More like a friend that you get along with super well. Maybe has attraction as well too, but it's just kind of more basic. And then I would see a twin flame as like a chart where it's like, okay, so you can't walk across the chart without you two running into some kind of connection.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Some harmonious, some challenge. Yeah. Good question though. That's a great question.
She has A1, which is Cupid on the 7th house. So that's also a good sign.
Right. So yeah, so that would be Eros, and Eros is the god of passion. So your husband would probably be very passionate. And in Capricorn, it would be lusty. Capricorn is a very lusty energy, very, just kind of earthy, right? Just a healthy sexual energy, right? Just based like just, how a man should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, you would look for a passionate man, right? You'd look for a passionate communicator who shines.
Well, that he is like that. Thank you.
Yes, yes. And next time maybe we can look at your chart and his. That would be fun. Okay. So,
Thank you.
yeah, my pleasure. Okay, so Coach Gio, do you have any questions for us about relationship or where are you at with that?
Well, after you mentioned that section 7, I'd like to visit that section 7 house.
Okay, so the 7th house, yeah. So you have 36 degrees of Taurus at your 7th house, and then you have the sun moon midpoint in Gemini there. And so what would we do? You're like, well, there's not a whole lot of stuff there, but the sun moon midpoint is very powerful because it's the middle of the sun and the moon. And your sun and moon are in opposite signs to each other. So you have a bit of polarity between your emotions and how you shine. So that's an interesting thing to look at right there. That can relate to maybe mom and dad. So sun represents dad, moon represents mom, being a bit different in terms of how they related with each other. And so the sun moon midpoint often represents kind of the child. So if the sun was the dad and the moon was the mom, then you're actually the sun moon midpoint energy. You're the third energy. And yours is in Gemini, which is the constant student, the constant learner, the constant reader. It's all about books and writing and information and learning and teaching. It's the flow of information, right? Which, knowing you, that sounds fairly accurate. It's ruled by Mercury. So since this is your partnership house and who you are is in that house, it would mean that you would attract someone, your partner would be a mixture of the sun moon energy in your life. They would be both shining, they would shine like the sun, but they'd also be very nurturing because it's both the sun and the moon in the 7th house. And, it's the fact that you're married, it sounds very similar to someone on the call here tonight, and it's in the sign of Gemini. And so that means that they would be a communicator. They would be someone who's very much into learning. They would be someone who communicates with lots of different people often. They're full of communication, essentially. And so the ruling planet of your 7th house would be 2. It'd be Venus and Mercury. And so you have Venus as 46 degrees of Virgo right here. And Mercury is 32 degrees of Leo. And so since your partner's on this call, do you mind if I go to her chart and show you how she connects to your 7th house? Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, question. So the midpoint is kind of like taking half of the sun and half of the moon and just uniting them together. Is that what the midpoint pretty much?
The midpoint is the middle between the two of them. So so what this chart is 360 degrees, like any circle is. And so if you counted each of the degrees, the midpoint is directly calculated in the middle of the sun and the moon.
Okay.
Okay. So it represents a divine balance point between the energies of sun and between the energies of moon. Yeah. So it's like essence self. It's like who you are really at a very core level. And so who you are really at a core level is a relationship-oriented person because it's in the house of relationship.
Right.
It also shows us who your partner is going to be like. And so your partner having, you having the sun moon midpoint in Gemini is going to be a balance between solar and lunar energies. So it's basically like having both the sun and the moon in your 7th house. So your
Right.
partner's going to have both in Gemini, which is the communicator. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to come on down to BB's chart because you're our couple. You guys are actually married for 33 years. So this is amazing opportunity to kind of show you how couples compatibility works. Okay. So remember how Venus was around 43 degrees Virgo, right? And that was the ruling sign of your 7th house. Okay, so check this out.
The midpoint.
BB's sun moon midpoint is exactly conjunct the ruler of your marriage house. Okay, so let me show this one more time because it's sort of unreal, right? Is what planet rules Taurus? Because you have 36 degrees of Taurus right there. So what planet rules Taurus?
Not sure.
Venus. Venus rules Taurus. And I'm going to give you a bonus tonight that tells you this information. So Venus, right? In your chart, your Venus is what? 46 degrees of Virgo. And it's actually conjunct Jupiter. So you have the millionaire planet and the billionaire planet together in the 11th house of the world. So it looks like you could probably stand to make a whole lot of money out in the world because you've got the billionaire and millionaire planet right next to each other in your chart.
Right.
Now, what that tells me is that working with your wife, because she's your divine feminine, and you've got Venus, which is the divine reflection, and Jupiter, the divine masculine, might be your golden ticket. So as you work with her together through that connection and that collaboration, huge amounts of money. And so why do I say that? Well, let's go back to BB's chart. And look at this. She's got her sun moon midpoint, 44 degrees of Virgo, which is like her essence self, conjunct your billionaire and your millionaire planet.
Oh, yeah.
She's an incredible asset in your life. Like she activates your most powerful wealth placements. She's really important to your wealth and achievement, actually. In fact, the two of you might team up a bit more and you might notice that your money flow increases exponentially. Right? And so it's really learning how the two of you can serve the world because Virgo is serving the world. And it's in the 11th house that you have Venus and Jupiter together. How the two of you can serve the world because who she is activates those two planets. Her essence self activates those two planets. That's powerful. That's incredibly powerful. Okay.
Yeah, she's all occupied on the, what is it, the 4th, 5th, and 6th house.
Is occupied, huh? Well, she is activated. I wouldn't say she's occupied. I'd say she's activated. And so she's very good at taking care of her home and her family. She's very good at helping the children. She's very good at work and service. Okay. But she has Jupiter conjunct her midheaven. And Jupiter is the millionaire planet. Yeah. So she's also destined to potentially make a whole lot of money, right? Okay. So coming back to your chart, right? So the ruling planet, Venus, conjunct her sun moon midpoint.
Right.
And then we have a second sign. We have Gemini. Okay. And so Gemini is in Mercury. I'm sorry, Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So the two ruling planets of your 7th house, Venus and Mercury. We'd look for where you have Mercury. So you have Mercury at 32 degrees of Leo. Okay. So then if we're doing partner analysis, we would go to BB's chart. Okay. And we go 32 degrees of Mars. I'm sorry, Leo. Okay. And that's her Juno, that's her marriage asteroid.
Ah,
So her sun moon midpoint is conjunct your marriage, your 7th house marriage ruler. And then her asteroid of marriage is conjunct the other ruler of your 7th house.
Hmm.
So that in itself are two very powerful ties for why you have been married for 33 years, right? Because when your 7th house teams up with someone else's planets in that way, you have a pretty deep and profound effect upon each other. Okay, so now we're going to look at a different level here. We're going to look at we're going to look at sun to moon. Okay, so your sun, 1 degree of Virgo. So we go up to, I keep going the opposite way. 1 degree of Virgo. So your sun is 1 degree of Virgo. And that is again conjunct her Juno. Okay, so both your moon and yeah, so her asteroid is being affected by you on quite a few levels. So your sun, 1 degree of Virgo, is in her 4th house of the home and her 5th house of love and romance. And so she is like, you know,
oh,
wife, right? Wife energy. Yeah. Okay. Then we're going to look at, okay, Virgo right there. So your sun is opposite her 10th house here. So you activate her career and her love and romance. Just being you. You show up, it's like, oh, that's how I want to be treated romantically. That's what I want to do for my career. That's how you activate her with the sun energy. Now your moon is 22 degrees of Pisces. So it activates her 11th house of her social network. You bring alive her desire to connect with people. Lots of people. The 11th house is the biggest amount of people. So bringing her to events and cruises, that's really important, muy importante, because you illuminate that for her, right? That she doesn't have a lot of planets there,
right.
but you bring your planets and you nurture her connection to other people.
Hmm.
You get to bring her out into the world, which is a huge gift. Yeah. And so her moon is also in Virgo, and your sun is in Virgo.
Yeah.
Okay. So your solar energy, your masculine energy, 1 degree Virgo, and then look how much Virgo.
Yeah.
And then her moon is in Virgo.
Hmm.
So she is the yin to your yang, so to speak. Right? She is the yin polarity to your masculine energy. Her receptive, emotional, feminine side is a match to your masculine energy. And that tends to correlate to friendship at a very profound level. So when you have the sun and moon of a husband and wife in the same sign, very powerful, or if they're opposite signs. Interestingly, your moon, 22 degrees of Pisces, is very close to opposite her moon, 19 degrees of Virgo. So you have opposite emotional expression.
Wow.
Which could be a challenge. Because where her moon is very precise and orderly and detailed, your moon is very intuitive, It's very introspective. It's very sensitive. It's psychic. Now I can see both of you. Good. And so how to balance that is for you to know that BB's emotional way of being, she needs details. She needs exact information. She needs to know X, Y, and Z. That's how she functions on an emotional level. You, however, tend to not want to think about details. You tend to not want to be pegged down to exactness. You want to just flow with the moment and the feeling. And so for both of you to learn, well, you also have a ton of Virgo, so you're both. You're both. But on an emotional level, BB learning to give you space to just flow sometimes and just kind of not be pegged down or like sequential, if that makes sense. And you knowing she really does well with the exactness. She likes to know the things. It helps her. She is running the home. She is running the family. She is running those things that you don't take care of. And so she needs exact information for her work because 6th house is work and service. She is very much devoted to the family on a very deep level. And she works very hard to see that it's successful, that everyone's happy, that everyone's taken care of. And that's what she loves. That's one of the things that she loves. She also has her son in the house of partnership. So she is very relationship focused. So it's very important for her to have good friends, girlfriends, other relationships, as well as her husband. So date nights are going to be very important to her. Because when the sun is in the 7th house, it's like relationship is such a huge part of who she is. Right? So I often tell married couples, do you have a weekly date night? Because if you don't, you should get one. It really helps. I used to take do nanny work for a married couple, and every time they went on a date, they came back with stars in their eyes, like they were 20 years younger. It was amazing. It keeps you young. It keeps you young, and it nourishes the bonds of the relationship. And her sun sign is in Libra, which is balance and harmony in relationships and marriage. And so Libras really value romance. They value flowers. They value beautiful things. They value going to get dressed up and going out to a nice meal. They value those things. They value art shows, things that are refined, things that are beautiful. And so my question would be, where do you have Libra in your chart to get some awareness of how this relates? Anna, did you have a question? Nope. Okay. Okay, so Libra. Yeah. So, oh, interesting. So your Neptune is conjunct her sun, and her sun falls in your 11th house of society. So you both have reciprocal, your sun in her 11th house of society and her sun in your house of the world. And so you both help each other go out into the world and meet more people and have a bigger social network. So going to big events is good for both of you. Yeah, like it's exciting. It's exciting for you both. Okay, Coach, any questions or comments? Anything you'd like to dive into?
No, that's good. Good information. Thank you.
Okay. BB, did you have any questions? No. No questions.
No questions. Sorry. No questions. You already answered the question I was going to ask you, so I'm fine.
Okay. Any questions about Coach's chart? About how he is in relationship? We just put him in the hot seat.
Sí. Oh. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I said that you already answered the question that I was going to ask you, so I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to go to your chart, BB, and we're going to look at something here we haven't looked at yet, which is that your 7th house is in Libra. You have the sun there, so that means that your partner is going to be someone who's very bright and shiny. Very bright and shiny, big energy. Big energy. And so if we go to Coach's chart, this is so muy interesante, is that Coach has his sun, so his sun is in Virgo, right? But his sun is literally 1 degree away from Leo, which is the sun. And it is also at the very top of his chart, which is the high noon of the chart. So it really shows someone who shines really big, right?
Yeah.
So that would be such a match for your sun in the 7th house. It's just so interesting. Okay, and then we come back to your chart. Okay. And so Libra is ruled by Venus. And so you also have Venus in Libra. Ah, muy interesante. So we're going to go back to Coach's chart and check this out. His Venus is at 46 degrees of Virgo, which is like 1 or 2 degrees away from your Venus.
Wow.
So his Venus, which rules his 7th house, is conjunct your Venus, which rules your 7th house.
Yeah.
So both of your marriage houses are conjunct. The marriage house rulers are conjunct. They're the same.
Wow.
See, and that's something that you often find in married couples, is that the ruling planet of the 7th house is doing something to the ruling planet of the partners. And in this case, both of those ruling planets are together, and Venus is the planet of love. So there is a lot of love there. A lot of love. Now, the beginning of Libra, muy interesante. Sí. Ay. So your Venus is opposite his Ceres. And Ceres is the nurturing asteroid. So there's a strong love and nurturing between the two of you. See. Now, you also have a second sign in your 7th house, and that is Scorpio. And so Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. And you have Pluto at 28 degrees of Leo and Mars at 4 degrees of Leo. So we're going to look at the second ruler of the 7th house. Okay. And we're going to see, his Mars, which is his masculine energy, is exactly conjunct about 4 degrees away from your Pluto, which is one of the rulers of your 7th house.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So Venus and Mars are the 2 planets of love in a chart, attraction. And so to have both of your attractor planets, in your case, Venus to his Venus, and then Mars to your marriage house ruler, creates sort of like a strong attraction between the two of you. So it's not just emotional, spiritual, there's also like a physical attraction as well, which is muy importante for marriage. Very important. Okay, for love, for romance, those 2 planets are very helpful to keep the fires of romance alive in an astrological chart. Okay. So that's very interesting because the first ruler of your 7th house, BB, was Venus, and it was conjunct his Venus. And then the second ruler of your 7th house is Pluto, conjunct his Mars. So your marriage house rulers are conjunct his Venus and his Mars. So he's there, 33 years, right? He's there. He's there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And this is what I find in couples charts, that there has to be some type of typically Venus-Mars conjunction, and there has to be some type of Sun and Moon conjunction. That's typically the case. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. No mas. Too much energy in the hot seat. I hear you.
You open our eyes.
Okay, good. That's good. That's good. Okay, Anna, did you have any questions?
Yes, the huh? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if you see in my chart, because I have an observation.
Yes.
The A1, is that my chart? Yeah, the A1, which is Eros,
Mm-hmm.
passion. I see that's in my 9th house.
Right.
And there's my Saturn, so I'm going to now I'm going through my Saturn return. Remember? So then in transit, I just remember that it's going to hit the A1. So is there a relationship between a new partner or the second husband or something like that? That's my question.
Yeah. Is there love on the horizon, Lotus? Come on. So what's interesting here is that Saturn is discipline and Eros is passion. And it's in an air sign. So those three factors in the Rubik's Cube create a very different combination. So we've got air, which is the mind. It's more rational than it's emotional. We have Saturn, which is discipline and structure. And then we also have our good old friend Chiron right next to us. Chiron and Saturn are all retrograde, and so is Kitty's. And so you have your passion asteroid in a bit of a hotbed of karmic past stuff, which means possibly why relationships have been challenged. So what I perceive with this is that you're probably an old enough soul where you've had enough challenges and traumas and dramas in relationships. So this is part of what it's showing you. It's saying, okay, you've had all of these things happen. So you're in your second Saturn return. So chances are you've already burned through a lot of it. So what Saturn tells us is that as you master and you become a disciple to your own path and your own progress, you will have more passion in your life. It also means that the type of passion you're drawn to is fairly disciplined, right? It's fairly structured. You're not going to feel necessarily comfortable having like a super wild love affair because you're someone who really enjoys structure and safety and so that could be having a romance at an older age, like you were saying. That could be that second round romance that you're talking about, right? That later in life. So it's likely that the passion would come later in life, right? Because Saturn is age and time.
Yeah.
So it would be much more likely for you to have a successful, passionate love affair now than when you were younger, which is good news. This is good news. Now, what's very interesting is that Jupiter, the millionaire planet, of course, is here in Taurus. We're about to have the sun in Taurus. We're about to have Venus. We're about to have a huge Taurus extravaganza. And at the end of the night, I will reveal this huge wealth activation and when it's happening and why you might want to get excited. So stay online and I'll share that at the end. But at the moment, you're having a huge amount of planets rushing towards your ascendant. So by the end of May and June, you're going to have all these planets rushing into your first house, which is opposite your 7th house. So this is actually one of the times of year when romance would be highlighted for you. Opportunities would be highlighted. Potentials would be highlighted. So we're going to go, oh, this is very muy interesante. So the ruler of your seventh house is Ophiuchus, and you have the ruler of Ophiuchus is Chiron.
Oh, it's Chiron.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And you
Oh.
have Chiron conjunct Eros and Saturn. Yeah. So a partner who activates your Chiron could be the one. So
A
that,
healer.
what's that?
A healer.
A healer. Yes, a healer, someone very profound, maybe someone who has a emotional wound of some kind, who's very deep, right? Because they've had to go on this journey to heal themselves. But yeah, you laugh, you say a healer, and yes. Yes, yes, yes. And maybe a teacher as well, because it's in the ninth house, and maybe foreign because it's the ninth house as well. So ninth house is foreign, far travels.
And Sagittarius is the seventh house.
Ninth house. And you also have Sagittarius in the seventh house. That's right. Which relates to the ninth house. So could be foreign, could be traveling, could be a teacher, like a university teacher or a healer. You might meet them while you're traveling. So that's something I didn't talk about. I should probably talk about where you might have met this person, right?
Yeah.
So for you, it might very well be traveling.
Oh.
And it could very well be during this Saturn return, because as Saturn goes over your Saturn, it's conjuncting your passion point, and it's beginning to conjunct your Chiron, and Saturn can mean marriage. So it can be either restriction and a lot of discipline and work, or it can mean marriage. And isn't that funny that marriage can be either one of those things?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And
Right.
and the funny thing is that this is very recent because I have not been interested for 2 years already in my last relationship to get into another one. I've been so into my studies and no interest at all. Like but not very good with myself, very happy. And just now, just let's say also less than a month ago, it's a feeling. It wasn't an idea. I don't know how to explain it. It's just I feel like, oh, you get like a little bit more romantic. But it was never that I put that into my mind. It's almost like it came from, I don't know where. That's
right. Right. I've noticed with these charts, we tend to feel things before they happen.
Yeah.
Right? We tend to feel that love and romance might be approaching before it even comes. It's like an expansion of our energy field. It's like a knowingness. And so interesting.
And no one in my mind. No one in my mind at all.
Oh, and tonight, this is so interesting, Anna. Tonight, the moon is exactly conjunct your ascendant. Yeah, it's like 36, it's like 30, 33, 34 degrees of Taurus.
Oh, and what should I do there?
Well, this is perfect. We're talking about it, right? We're setting an intention. And for coach, this is opposite you. This is at your seventh house. It's a conjunct your house of relationship. And all you're having to talk about tonight is your relationship. And you're like, oh my God, I never knew. But how interesting that the moon aligns so amazingly well with whatever's happening. It's truly phenomenal. Yeah. So any other questions here?
No, I'm very happy. Thank you. Because you confirm what I'm feeling, where I have no idea where that came from, because like I said, now I understand the movements of the planets, how they're making me feel this that I had no way of understanding.
Right. Right.
So thank you very much.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wait, one last question. Sorry. That comb that's in my ascendant, what is that planet? It's like a comb in my ascendant. Go down, it's right next to there's like a
this
comb.
one. So that's Lilith. Lilith is an asteroid related to
Lilith.
rebellion and like the rebel energy. It's all about essentially, you know, Lilith was the wife of Adam. And so
Listen.
she was very rebellious because he wanted her to do something he didn't want her to do. And so she left. She's like, I'm out of here. She didn't want to put up with it. Okay. And so Lilith relates to not putting up with stuff that is not aligned to who you are. It's
That's
letting,
part of me then, right? In
yeah,
my that makes sense.
Mhm. I also want to point out that Jupiter is the ruler of your 7th house.
Oh, yes, that's a
well.
good. What does that mean? That I have this.
Right. So the millionaire planet is one of your 7th house rulers. So that means that your partner could be wealthy. It means that they could be a teacher. And you're going to have Jupiter going over your Jupiter next year. Right? Jupiter is going, well, maybe not next year. I think so. I think next year. So that means that Jupiter returns. So you're going to have both your Saturn return, then your Jupiter return. So this year might be more challenging in some ways, but then next year it's going to be about a lot of expansion, right?
Oh,
and you're also going to have the sun, you're going to have the moon, you're going to have Venus all travel across your ascendant and conjunct Jupiter. So this is a very wealthy and very abundant and prosperous time for you. So everything you're working on, just, you know, go for it, take action on it.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Thank you. So that's what it means when you have the planet of the 7th house in the first. It's that energy in my life.
Yes. So it means that your partner may show up and affect your identity in a big way.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. That's big. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super interesting. Super,
Yeah.
super interesting. If
I
anyone
do have a
wants,
question before you move on to somebody else.
sure. Yeah. Go
On
ahead.
my chart, so I have the 2nd and the 8th pretty much blank.
Yeah.
And so is that, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah. What does that mean? So I've said this a couple times. So it doesn't mean anything. It just means that there's no planetary influence in it. It just means that it's not the hugest focus for you, right? It's not like a huge work zone for you. So it could mean it's either going to be really something you put a lot of energy into, or it's going to be something that you don't. But here's the way to find out. Is this going to be important for me or not? Right? Right. So we're going to go to your 2nd house, and you're going to notice here that there's Sagittarius here. And there is Capricorn. You're welcome, everyone. Glad you're all here. Sagittarius is all about truth and freedom. Capricorn is all about structure and discipline. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Saturn rules Capricorn. So to find out about your 2nd house, so to find out about any house that doesn't have a planet, you're going to look for where those planets are in your chart. Okay. So Saturn is in Taurus in your 5th house. And so it's in the sign of the billionaire. So Taurus is the billionaire. Saturn is discipline and structure. So having Saturn in Taurus tells me that you're learning how to be very disciplined and have a lot of structure with your finances, with your wealth, with how you build income. You're becoming very disciplined. You're building your mastery around material wealth. And so Saturn means you have to put a lot of work and time into it. You've got to put a lot of discipline. You've got to build a firm foundation. It's not going to just come in, flow in easily, effortlessly, because you have this Saturn Taurus vibration, which is hard work and effort and building the structure and the foundation. Additionally, the other planet that rules your 2nd house is Jupiter. And so Jupiter in Virgo is all about being very health conscious, being very healing conscious, health and healing conscious, and service oriented. So you make your money through serving, being of service, helping others. That's what we see when we look at the ruling planet of this second house being Jupiter. We find your Jupiter in the 11th house of serving the world in Virgo. Service, work, right? Uplifting and serving those around you. So that's why being a volunteer boosts your income, right? The more you do, boosts your income. The more discipline you have, boosts your income. I should also note that the second ruling planet of your second house, Saturn, is conjunct your Juno. So that could mean having work with your wife, assisting you to make more money. Right? So teaming up with some type of a business between you and your wife might bring in a lot more money. I also have to say that 11th house and the 8th house are the two astrology houses. So if you have a lot of planets in the 8th house, or you have a lot of planets in the 11th house, or the 3rd house, you're probably going to be very good at astrology because 1, you care about the world when you have 11th house planets. 2, 8th house planets are, you like to go deep and you love to study the occult. Now, if you don't have 8th house planets, you could have a lot of stuff in Scorpio or Pisces or another water sign that loves to explore and learn about the sacred mysteries. Okay. So how does that land for you, Coach?
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot. It resonates a lot. I'm surprised it's nothing on the 8th just because of our club. But everything else is just, yeah, I've noticed that I have to work harder than most people to obtain what I have. And I've always wondered why I'm like, why in the hell do I have to work so hard, you know? Well, it's in there.
It's probably karma. It's probably a karmic lesson you're learning around physical work, like material life work. Like, what does it take to build a garden? Like having a garden might be a really good practice for you. Tilling the soil, planting the seeds, watering the crop. And like, it could even be a miniature garden that you plant in your patio. And you just get into the rhythm of consistency. And so consistency might be really tough for you. Like just stability, security, boom, like earth could be a bit of challenge in some way of just grounding yourself, right? That's what Saturn tells us, is that it's like kind of not so super easy to be grounded and just stable and secure all the time. Saturn means there was maybe some karma here. Maybe life as a child wasn't always safe and secure, right? Maybe it wasn't always 100% as stable at home as you wanted it to be as a child. So there's an inner child in you that's learning how to build safety and security for yourself so that you can manifest that safety and security with your money. So another way to work it would be to work on healing the inner child around safety and security and around what money was like for you as a child. Because 5th house is the child self. So there could have been something around money that made you think you had to work hard.
Interesting. All right. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And so as you feed that energy into this, you will become more stable, you will become more solid, and your money flow will increase. And Saturn is like a fine wine. It's like a cheese. It gets better with age. So what may have been an issue when you were younger will turn out to be, and it's the billionaire sign, you potentially creating quite a lot of income through the hard work that you put in now. So it will pay off. That will pay off. Okay. So the more you just acknowledge that part of yourself, know that you need that safety and security to feel stable, work on it. That will pay off over time. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So you kind of see why, even if you have an empty house, there's a whole story,
Yeah.
right? You thought, oh, there's nothing there. It means that there's nothing happening, but
Yeah.
there's a whole world. Once you learn what planets rule which signs, and then you go and find them. Yeah. Something else, huh? Totally.
Yeah. Oh, my
Um,
sister's on now.
yeah, she sent me a message saying, so she's saying she's a bit occupied tonight. So I'm only going to answer questions for people who can be here and with us. It's just too difficult to answer extraneous questions, but maybe at some point in the future I can answer more questions. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. And so Christy, you asked to go next. Okay. Is this interesting, everyone? Are you learning new things? Yeah? Okay. Cool. Okay, Christy, what was your question?
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. So, oh, hold on 1 second. So, of course, I knew my question like a minute after you asked me earlier,
Right.
but
Of
I
course.
just didn't know it at the time. But anyway, so my question is actually, I want to know what, if you can see in my chart, like what sign my ideal partner would be. Like, I already know exactly what kind of guy that I'm looking for, but I don't
Okay.
know what sign he is. And so, yeah, I'm just looking to see what sign he is, the guy that I'm going to meet later this year, who is either
Oh,
my soulmate or twin flame.
okay. Okay. So, well, this is a really powerful time for meeting someone because the sun is in your seventh house, which is the house of marriage and relationship. We
Mhm,
also have Jupiter and Uranus in your seventh house for the entire year. And so,
mhm,
you have kind of an interesting combination here with your seventh house because you have Aries on the cusp of your seventh house. Aries is a leader. It's a very strong action energy. So it would typically be the type of man who's just very active, very assertive, very physical,
mhm,
um, red energy, right? Strong
mhm,
red energy. However, you also have a lot of Taurus. And so that would also be very stable, very grounded, very reliable.
mhm,
And you have Mercury, which is communication. You have Chiron, which is the wounded healer, and you have the destiny point. So it is your destiny to learn how to have a relationship. Now, it's not an easy thing for you, right? So when you have the destiny point in the seventh house, it's a challenge. Like it's the weakest muscle. It's literally the most difficult thing for you in this lifetime is wherever your destiny point is. It's like, okay, here's your destiny. Now we're going to make it as challenging as possible, like climbing a friggin' mountain to get to the top. And so
mhm.
if it's been challenging, don't be hard on yourself. Now, it also is relationships in general. So it's not just romantic partners, but it's
It
all
is.
relationships.
Right now, it's really all relationships. This is the first time in my life that I don't have any like really close relationships at all. Like I don't have a best friend, I don't have a partner, I don't have any close friends. So this is different for
Well,
me.
you're going to have a lot of energies aligning for you with Jupiter and Uranus being in Taurus, with the sun being in Taurus, about to be in Taurus, conjunct your Mercury. So this is a huge window for you potentially even meeting someone, or it might not be romantic, but we're meeting friends, meeting partners, meeting people who are going to uplift you and support you with these friendships, let's say, or these relationships in general.
Mhm,
So one way that we can kind of key in a little bit more information about this person is by looking at the ruler of Aries, which is Mars. And so you have Mars in the first house in Libra. And so that means that that person is going to be very independent, but also very fair, like very just, right? So someone that could be someone involved with the law, a lawyer, right? Someone involved with legal matters, someone who's about fairness and justice and the law, right? And that could be for you, I would imagine, the natural law as opposed to
Yeah.
the other types of law, right? And so that would be in the sign of Libra, okay? And then the other ruler of your chart is Venus, and you have Venus in Taurus in the 8th house. And so that combines the energies of Taurus and of Scorpio. Okay. So that would be someone who's both very deep and also very practical and down to earth and loves the good things of life, right? Very Venusian. So it would probably be a partner who combines a lot of masculine and feminine energies in their chart. You have a lot of energy around the 7th and the 8th house, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in Taurus. So it would be highly likely that they might be a Taurus, that they might have their sun or moon in Taurus. They might also be in Aries. But there's so many things in Taurus, I would imagine that you'd be gravitated towards that. Or also Libra, right? Like Libra energy. So those two signs could be highlighted. But another way to look at it would be that you have your moon in Leo. So a partner whose sun is in Leo might be a really powerful match for you as well, because they would be shining light onto your moon. And so you just feel really illuminated and lit up by that. And you get to support them and they'd support you. And so it'd be really beautiful. Or a partner who has their moon in Taurus. So I don't know what their sun would be in. It could be any gamut of things. But if they had their moon in Taurus, especially the end of Taurus, that's going to be like a really beautiful, grounding, stabilizing match where you just feel like very secure, very safe with them. It could also be that their moon is in Scorpio, but your south node is in Scorpio. So that's your past self. So your past self, similar, Anna, to you, is in things related to chaos and crises and drama and trauma. And it's like you're really moving away from that type of lifestyle and into more of like a grounded, smooth, transformational energy, as opposed to it being hectic and crazy with this Uranus conjunct the past life point. You're moving into just a much more grounded, serene. You're kind of like an earth shaman, right? So you wouldn't be someone just dealing with energy. You would have like herbs and flowers and a garden, and you would take people through like a earth healing through the land. Right.
That's
And so
funny.
right. And so it also Venus, so the 8th house in an astrology chart represents your partner's money. So your partner is probably going to be very wealthy with both the sun and Venus there. Right? So you may very well manifest a very wealthy partner, right? Which will enable you, because 8th house is other people's money, to use their money to help bring your vision into fruition. And so that might be one of the frustrating things you've had is you're like, well, where's the money? But it looks like you do best through other people's money because your sun is not in the 2nd house, which is more building your own money. It's in the 8th, which is using other people's money, right? And this can be done through people who donate to you. This can be done through people backing your vision. It's kind of like to
Well, that's my
encourage.
plan for the land vision is
Yeah,
investors, using investors. So
yes, exactly. If I were you, I would write out a plan. I would just do it as
I
though,
have it.
yep, I would just go forwards with it because it looks as though that's in alignment for you to do that because Sun is big and Venus is the billionaire in the house of other people's money. And so, I think there's a lot of stigma around I don't know, quote unquote, getting donations or asking for other people to fund your vision. But when I've studied astrology charts, if you don't have your sun in the second house, which is building that wealth on your own, doing the work, then it would make sense for you to utilize other people's wealth to help bring the vision into fruition and to let go of any guilt or shame or embarrassment and to simply go forwards with what your soul mission is.
Mhm.
And your destiny point is in Taurus, but it's in the seventh house of relationship and partnership. And so it's probably through relationships and connecting with other people that you're going to build the land and the vision that you want. And so, you know, you've been an individual. You're very good at knowing who you are, right? You have a lot of planets on the left-hand side and a decent amount on the right. You have Mars and Saturn and Pluto. Like, you're very clear on who you are.
Mhm.
South Node in the first house, you're strong there. Like you said, what you're learning is about the relationship part. And so, you know, doing everything you can to go out there and talk to people and meet with people and ask people what they're thinking and communicate with others and learn that process of communicating with others is going to be really powerful. I mean, your Chiron is conjunct your destiny point. And so I think one of the things you're dealing with this whole relationship thing is your biggest friggin' wound is in the house of partnership. So I would imagine that there is a past life trauma that was so friggin' deep and gnarly and painful. I'm getting like loss. And then I'm hearing like throat, like something around like speaking or singing or communication that hasn't been healed yet. And it probably goes way back, way, way, way back. And
Yeah,
so,
my throat chakra is always blocked. It's always getting blocked.
mhm.
My glands have been swollen for like almost 6 years now.
Uh-huh. So that would be a really good specific focus, like for a one-on-one, for us to just go deep on that and test literally how many lifetimes back did this happen,
Mhm.
right? How many lifetimes back did the throat get blocked? What
Mhm.
happened? Who was
Yeah.
involved? And then literally begin to clear it. And it might take more than one session because Chiron is often multi-layered. But even just right now, talking about it, we're starting to touch on it. We're starting to bring some awareness. We're starting to bring some light. And Chiron, you know, the throat is a big one. The throat is a big one.
Mhm.
When you have Taurus is the throat, right? So it would make sense that the throat would be the issue with Chiron. And I also get the sense that as you start to heal that Chiron wound, for sure it will manifest much more closeness to that love relationship or those relationships with your friends, right? Because it's conjunct your Mercury, which is communication. So it could be that you go to communicate and then there's just this wave of deep emotion that comes up in relationships with other people. And you're like, geez, like, I'm just trying to have a conversation here. I'm just trying to talk. And you have this huge amount of energy come through.
Mhm.
So it would make sense. It's kind of like that catch-22, right? Where your destiny point and your biggest wound are right next to each other, literally. And that, in a way, makes things really clear that this is an arena for you of focus, right? Relationships, communication is your destiny. And security and safety and grounding and material wealth. It's like everything you wish is just on the other side of these lessons and of
Mhm.
whatever these energy blocks are.
Mhm.
So I hope that can kind of bring some clarity to you around the challenge that this has been. But in terms of sign, there's so many, I always hesitate to predict signs of who that person will be, but I can tell you some potentials, right? Like Taurus or Scorpio or Leo or Aquarius. These are all going to be really, really powerful signs. for you, for potentially connecting with, right?
Hey, hold on, honey.
Right.
She's still up.
Oh, of course. She can feel all the energy, so much energy. So is that helpful? Any other questions? What do you notice as we delve into this?
I don't know. I was feeling emotional early about relationships. I was like,
Yeah.
just, like, I don't know. I just like, why
Well,
don't I have any close relationships? And like
uh-huh.
all my, like the relationships that I thought I've had, like close friends, most of them just I realized weren't really real friends or just, we separated. So
We're really in that time right now. And it's interesting because right now Pluto retrograde is in your third house. Third house can be friends. It can be people we know and talk to, our network of people. And with Pluto retrograde there, it could be that you're seeing the truth about all your networks of people you thought you knew and connections you thought you had. And it's like it's tearing the mask off for a lot of people wherever that Pluto retrograde is, because Pluto is intense energy, right? It's like death and rebirth. It is deep and can be a bit crisis filled. So having that, I think, might be part of what's happening here, is that it's in your house of communication and you've got Mercury conjunct Chiron in the 7th. And so it's kind of like bringing up like a similar feeling of depth, which is what Chiron does, right? Is its depth. And so that emotion is an opportunity for what's coming next, which is more joy, right? But these deeper layers have to come up in order to be felt, in order to be seen, in order to be experienced. And it's intense. It's a lot, right? And so Jupiter, Uranus, all these big planets are right here in your relationship house. Oh, I can't hear you.
I muted it because I was talking to Narayan.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is big opportunities. These are big opportunities. So those big opportunities are also bringing to the surface the very old buried trauma that's there around connection and around relationship. So what do I do? Well, that's when we do energy work. That's when we come together and talk about it. That's when we start to heal these things. That sort of thing. Chiron is generally very deep energy. So, I highly recommend doing a session with me or someone else to just start to peel back those layers, because that's such an important area of your life with your destiny point there, with Chiron there. It could be pivotal. It could be pivotal. And what I've found with charts is that when we find that pivotal spot, that's when we have the biggest successes. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, baby girl. She's getting a lot bigger than a baby now. That's right. That's right. Okay. Any final questions, Christy? Anything else you wanted to share?
I think that's it. Thank you. I gotta
Yes.
put her to bed now. So
Okay, sweet friend.
thank
Good
you so
to see
much. I
you.
appreciate it. It
Yes.
was very, very helpful. Thank you.
Yes. 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 And I'm sure we'll talk soon. Much, much love. It's all unfolding. It's all opening. Hi, beauty. You're all love.
Ay, no estoy yo ahí.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi,
Can
Bibi.
you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I want to ask you a question on behalf of my sister.
Okay. What do you want to ask? Go ahead.
Okay, she wants to know if it is good to carry a stone called lapis lazuli.
Yes. Yes. It's a very good stone. Very
Oh.
good stone. Yeah, it's a wisdom stone. It is good for communication. It's what they used to use in ancient Egypt on their breastplates.
Oh,
Okay, so it's really about leadership, stepping into leadership, very royal energy. Yeah. And with your sister's destiny point in Leo, right? That's strong royalty energy. Right? That's strong leadership energy. Yeah. Was
okay.
there another question?
Well, she wants to know also about his husband because
Her husband?
yeah, her husband is Cancer and she's a Cancer. So
Oh,
it's
he
like,
has cancer.
yeah, will there be like a good match or
Okay. So when's his birthday?
el Sony, el cumpleaños de Byron? Oh, es
9 de julio del 60.
Okay.
July 9, 1960.
Okay. So he would be, okay, very close to her sun sign right here. So he's Gemini as well. Okay. So he really affects who she is. So I'm sure what he's going through is affecting her quite a lot. I'd really have to see his chart to do like a health analysis for him, like we did over the last couple days to be able to help him. But he does have his sun in Gemini, so that would tell me that, he may have issues in his arms or hands. And so I really recommend for both of them the acupuncture. Because Gemini is also an air sign. Gemini, it can affect the nervous system of the body. And so with him being a Gemini, it might help him to get some sort of acupuncture treatment just without having seen anything in his chart. I can recommend that being very helpful for what the issue is he's dealing with. What part of the body is he dealing with the cancer?
No, he's not dealing with Cancer. He's a
Oh, he's a Cancer sign. Oh,
I
I see.
Cancer. Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking right now, he's all maybe. No.
Okay. So in the system, he would be a Gemini.
Okay.
So he would be right here in her first house, which means he would be opposite her 7th house. Okay. So he would be, affect her house of marriage and partnership there.
Okay.
Because the sun would be about here, near her sun. What day is her birthday?
The July 3rd.
Okay, so 6 days apart.
Yes.
So they would both be Gemini sun sign.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does she have a love question?
Sony, ¿tienes alguna pregunta sobre otra más sobre amor? De tus relaciones.
No, está bien, gracias.
Sí.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Liz, I think you had a question. Oh, where did I go? Okay. Liz, what was your question?
I had a few questions in regards to mine. I was wondering in regards to my love chart, what am I doing wrong?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that there's anything you're doing wrong. I would say that, okay. I would say that what's going on here is that your past life point is in the house, the outer world. It's in the house of people and friends and the world. Okay, so you came in being very focused on other people and on the world and on outside accomplishments. Whereas your destiny point and what you're learning is all about you. It's about what you love. It's what you're passionate about. It's what you love to do. It's about your creativity, 5th house, inner self, your inner foundation. And so you haven't been living in alignment with who you are because you've been living this past self that you're used to being. And you've been suppressing this inner self that you're here to become. And so the issue here is that you haven't been building your own foundation of you. And so you can't have a happy relationship until you're you. You wouldn't want the partner you would have attracted being untrue to yourself. So the universe has not allowed you to meet that right person because you haven't been the right person for yourself. Right? And so as you align to who you really are, which is this mixture of like Leo and Cancer, it's like fiery and authentic and expressive, creative, nurturing, loving, motherly energy, and caring for yourself, right? Doing hobbies like dancing and singing and art and expression, all the things you thought weren't important, you're going to start to grow and blossom. And as you start to grow and blossom, you're going to become so attractive to the right person. But you've been attracting all the people that weren't in alignment to you. You've been attracting the people who were matching who you were being, but not who you are. So that's what I would say has been happening for you. In terms of where you might meet this person. Oh, muy interesante. The ruler of your 7th house is Leo, which is the sun. And your sun is in Ophiuchus, conjunct your midheaven, which is your career. So you will meet them as you follow your purpose.
Okay.
Right. Which is like a catch-22. Why haven't I met them yet? Well, you haven't been on your, well, you've been on your purpose. You've been doing all the things opposite of what you really are, which is how you're going to get to where you are, where you want to go. Because you're going to say, I'm so sick and tired of not being happy that I'm going to finally change the things, because I can't, if I want things in my life to change, I have to change things in my life. That saying is very, very true. So midheaven and Ophiuchus, sun and Ophiuchus, no wonder you haven't known who you were. No other astrology system even talks about what sign your sun is in.
Right.
Talk about feeling misunderstood, right? Talk about feeling like nobody knows who I am. That's a huge issue. So how do you find out who you are? Well, you start to join other communities that recognize you, that see you, that honor you, that appreciate you. You know, I don't know if there's Native Americans who do sweat lodges in Florida, but that's one place that I really started to find myself, was actually in a sweat lodge, a Native American sweat lodge. And you go in and you connect to the earth, and it's a bit like a rebirth. And I was able to just, you know, you just leave behind those parts of yourself that just, you don't need them anymore. And I feel like you have gone through that a lot in your life. And so you may be due to kind of shed some layers to reveal who you really are, to let who you really are come through. Yeah. So things you might be good at with the sun and Ophiuchus: astrology, qigong, yoga, tantra, all types of yoga, all types of spirituality, energy work, energy healing, sound healing, things of that nature. You're going to be really good at those things, right? You're going to be very, very good at those things.
Yeah, we
So,
talked about today about the healing, the energy healing that I have a lot in the past. And yeah, I know that has a lot to do with today.
yeah.
Definitely.
So the more you follow who you are, and I don't say this for every chart I read, but the more you follow who you are, the closer to that love you're going to get.
Okay.
So if you're being true to yourself, if you're happy, if you're following your soul path, that's where he'll come. Okay. He's going to match you in every way. You don't have to be anything other than you.
I sort of feel that way towards someone right now in the present, but and I've had a few people tell me that we could be twin flames or we have a connection together. And they've read me that they said that he's my past and he's been in my past. So, but I'm so confused in that kind of way.
Do you know his birthday?
Yes. It's June 22nd.
Okay. That's all I need. So I'm just going to see where, okay. So his sun is in your fourth house of the home.
Okay.
So he feels like home to you.
He does.
Yeah. He lights up home for you. Now, there could have been challenges at home and traumas. So you have to make sure that he's not matching the trauma of home.
Okay.
But he's matching the safety of home.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to be careful with the fourth house. Those people affect us so deeply.
Yeah.
That sometimes we don't see clearly, but it looks like his sun is opposite your sun, which is very interesting. So your sun is up here and his sun is down here. Right. Good night, Christy. So good to see you. Much, much love. Right. So sun here, sun here. Yeah. Big, beautiful energy. So a lot of people, I would definitely say there's something there. You're going to be feeling it for sure.
I'm feeling it a lot.
Yeah. So just make sure you're being true to yourself and that he encourages you towards your truth, your feeling, your emotion, your wholeness, and make sure there's no red flags. Okay?
Yeah.
Because as you're shifting gears now, it's going to be easy to be distracted by a romance to slip back into old ways. And so to the extent that you can stay true to yourself with this person and grow and focus on you, then I say, yeah, right? But if it starts to pull you down, that might be a sign like, oh, I don't know. Be careful, right? Be careful when we're still finding ourselves. We have to be careful of the people we're attracting because they're just going to be a mirror for whatever we haven't healed yet. Okay, so just like big warning there, as attractive as he is, he's going to mirror to you anything that is not healed yet.
I've been
So,
told that.
yes. So just know, as delicious as it feels, there may be some deeper things that it's there for your healing. Yeah. So, put on your gear, put on your helmet and your bumper pads, because sometimes relationships can be like that. But there's definitely something there.
It does feel like that, but it's like a magnet. It's like an attraction. It's like a connection. It feels like I've known him for all my life, and that's what's me.
Yeah. Yeah. You might also have kept your heart closed and never actually ever opened it before. I watched a movie last night. It was this cutest romantic movie I'd ever seen about a woman who made chocolate. And she made a specific type of chocolate called a Cupid chocolate. Isn't that interesting?
That is.
And according to her grandfather had created the recipe, and that when people ate this chocolate, they would fall in love. And they had this whole wall of people who'd eaten this special chocolate and they'd met the love of their life, right? But she, the woman who made the chocolate, had never eaten one.
Wow.
Because she was afraid. She was afraid to actually love. She was afraid to actually open her heart. And so at the very end, of course, she met someone who finally started to crack the mortar around her heart. And at the end, they both ate one together. And so maybe you're a bit like this woman in that chocolate shop, and your heart still kind of being broken out of its shell that it's been kept in. And so it might be hard to open, to love fully. It's really scary. It's terrifying.
It's scary, yes.
It is. It is so scary to be open to love. And yet,
Tell me about it.
that's some good comedic timing. And yet, look at your brother, look at his wife. There's still 33 years.
Yeah, 30.
Was it scary when you two first met? Was it scary? Were you a little bit afraid of how much love there was?
Hell, I'm still scared. I sleep with one eye open.
She's horrible.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Because opening our hearts can feel very scary. What'll happen if I love really and truly? And so another part of the movie was the woman, her mother's husband had died. And it was hard for her. But she gave a speech at the end and she said, you know what? As painful as it was, I would rather have loved completely, 100%, fully and deeply, than to have never and lost than to never have loved at all, right? And so that quote is just so deep and it's so true. I was sobbing by the end of this movie, by the way. I was just like falling like a baby. So touched by the emotion. Okay. And so love is like that. And with that South Node in Capricorn, you're really coming from this place of having been closed to emotion, to all kinds of emotions. But you're really here to have love and all the emotions. So if he can handle your emotion and he can handle you in all your waves, then
we talked about that yesterday.
He may well be the right kind of guy. Oh, what's the name of the movie? Oh, that's a good question. I'll try and get it to you guys, to all of you. It was a really good movie, actually. I was like, this is a watch a once a year at Valentine's Day kind of movie. So yeah, there's a lot of energy between you and him. Do you see all those red lines?
Yeah.
So he's right here, you're right here, like a magnet.
Feels like that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Isn't that interesting? It literally looks like the energy you're feeling.
Yeah.
So take it slow, introduce him to your brother, have your brother give him the 3rd degree.
Oh my.
I would love to see that meeting. That would be really quite fun. But yeah, test him out. Can he be the amazingly solid guy you deserve to have?
Okay.
Lois, it's funny because my brother and sister, because we have a brother, he's in the middle. So my brother and sister every time we get to meet their partners at that time,
we warn
they always warn them, oh, you're gonna meet my brother. Oh yeah, this is how he is, this is how is that.
Yes.
So you're always the one.
Hey, I'm happy to be the one, trust me. I'm the oldest.
Right. You got to look after your siblings. 100%. 100%. Well, I am super. So Anna asks, so suns opposing is good or challenging? Well, Anna, what do you think? Do you think suns opposing are easy or challenging?
I think that it's challenging, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
But
okay.
Challenging doesn't mean bad. It just means strong energy. It can be bad or it could be good. It means let's get out of good or bad. Let's get into strong energy versus no energy. So it's better to have something happening between your planet and someone else's than nothing happening. So the fact that they have such a strong, Liz, it will have its challenges because if you two can see each other's perspective, it'll work. But if you're both refusing to see the other person's point of view, it could be like two, you know, like that. But
Yeah.
if you make it work, it turns into a battery. It's very attractive. What do you do with the energy? It very well could be like Goon was asking us, you know, twin flame. That could
Yeah.
be something that might be like that. Yeah. So just know he's going to reveal your deepest parts of you, and are you ready for that?
He has been, and it's scaring me.
It
He
is
has
scary.
been.
I
It
know.
has been. We've joked around saying that we are. He's the male version of me, and I'm the female version of him, and
Right.
it's scary to us because we know what we're both capable of, and
That's
it's
right.
scary.
Yes, yes, be careful. But you know, at this point, it's already begun. It's already begun. And you guys can all tell like this has already started here, whatever this connection is. I would just recommend you start working with an energy healer as soon as possible, because this is going to be triggering off what twin flames and high level soulmates do is they are like rocket fuel for our advancement. So I've worked with more healers, guides, and energy supports than I ever knew existed since I met my my counterpart. So that's been quite a journey in my own right. So I will tell you, if you meet someone that activates you on this level, you will be very helpful to have energy support.
Yeah.
It will mean
I'm gonna seek into that, definitely.
yes.
With
Okay.
yesterday's reading and everything you mentioned about the healing and trying to that blockage, I
Yes.
definitely work. I want to succeed. I want to get out of that.
You will. You are. You already look better. It's already happening. Yeah,
Thank
huge
you.
shift. Huge shift in you since last night. Absolutely. Good work. You know,
Thank you.
sometimes we just need to have the right conversation, with the right people,
Mhm.
and talk about the right stuff. And that's what this chart does, is it shows things at a deeper level.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you're so welcome. Yes, coach, go right ahead.
So question, you mentioned at the beginning of this, of tonight's call, and with today's society, how sex is more open
Right,
than it was, you know, even half a century ago, or even 20 years ago.
right.
You mentioned lust.
Yeah.
So can it be that, you know, those that are single feeling more lust than love? Even though in the pursuit of love, we always tend to find the lust in it first,
Right.
right?
True. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, or sometimes, I mean, look at the divorce rates at this point right now. You know, a person being in a relationship for 5 years is like 50 years nowadays. It wasn't
Right.
the fact 20 years ago. So, and that's because, again, the lust kind of keeps going into that relationship and separating it, right?
Well, I think it depends on the person having the relationship. I think some
Well, there could be
people
other factors.
are more motivated by physical attraction, and some people are not. Some people are more motivated by soul growth and emotion and connection. And so, yes, I think on some levels, people are making, our society is much more, you know, sex is this huge thing, you know, but I think it's also created the opposite reaction in a lot of people where they're not interested in that type of energy, the way that society is presenting it, and are really deeply interested in actual human level love and connection. And so I think that lust can fool people in thinking that it is love. But I also think that sometimes they can be connected from the beginning.
Yeah.
And are you talking about Liz's case in particular?
No, just in general, because I have a lot of well, I mean, you know, we're Facebook friends. I have a lot of female friends, and a lot of them are single, some of them are single moms.
Mhm.
and they always have some issue with the dating game aspect of it. And I keep hearing all over about this dating game.
Yeah.
So, so that's why, and I see their actions. It's more physical than anything else.
Like
So
men.
what I've noticed, again, me being 54 years old, what you just said, I agree with an older generation, older crowd versus somebody in the 20s and 30s. They tend to be doing the foolish things what we used to do back in the day, because it's more of the physical aspect of it. Once you've been there, done that, now you start looking for, yeah, it's not about the attractions anymore. It's more about, okay, she makes me feel good. He makes me feel good. He opens the door, she does this stuff, the little minor things, you start seeing that as you grow. But when you're younger, you don't know any better. And that's where a lot of people, I mean, haven't you heard 15-year-old people saying, I love my boyfriend? I'm like, what the hell do you know about love at 15-year-old? The word is used very loosely nowadays.
Mhm.
And the action that goes with it is there, is proven, So that's why I just brought that up, just in generally. The lust part is I think it's a drive to a certain point.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, there's a saying in Spanish. Well, there's a, I'm trying to remember what it is. Everything goes in through the eyes,
Right.
and that's the attraction of it. Like it or not, it's always attraction of it. But how you feel, how your heart feels and grows and gets fonder is when you start treating the person and start seeing all those, oh, we have this, in common. Oh, you like this, you like that, and then manners and this, and the guy starts courting. Hell, nowadays there's no courting.
Well, I think you do have a point. I think that overall in society, a lot of children are having access to extremely sexualized society. But I also think that there's a ricochet effect where a lot of parents are pulling children out of public school and then creating communities that are much more healthy and more connected to nature and more connected to the real morality of a good life, right? The real morality of good relationships. And so I think that on one hand, yes, there is a growth of this lust and this sort of just devoid of love energy, really, in the collective. And yet I see so much goodness growing out of a sort of like, oh, that's not who we are. We want to have love and connection, and we want our children to get to grow up, right? And not start having sex until they're a little bit older, right? Until they're ready. And so there's a bit of there's both happening. I know for myself, I definitely have shifted a lot from 20 to the 30s, from maybe being more interested in just romance to actually just wanting to cultivate very deep relationships that are based on soul connection and based on love. And I think that we get what we attract what we are. And so the more we focus on that authenticity and that love and that true heartfelt connection, the more we magnetize it in. And so whatever is happening out there in the world and in society, yeah, fine. But we have the power to be at cause and create whatever reality we want to have. Right. And so for myself, I put that intention of building loving, beautiful connections and community, and I create it. There you all are. And here we all are having this heartfelt, love felt conversation across the internet, across the planet. And so I truly think that it is what we decide to create that we will manifest. And, we kind of just have to like say, okay, you guys can do what you want, but I'm going to choose what's right for me, right? And what's right for my world and what's right for my friends and my family. And I think we do have the power to create an even larger and bigger community of people who are focused on actual love, actual connection, actually the old, the real values that help to create a happy home and a happy life and a happy marriage, right? And a happy wife is a happy life. True. True statement. Very true statement. More true than I ever realized. So I think I get what you're saying, and I just also want to reassure that we're here to create a new future. And it may have, the world out there may have just ridiculous, crazy stuff going on, but here and now, what do we want to create? What type of future do we want the children to have? What type of connections would we like people to be having? We can start with our own selves, and that creates a ripple across the planet in truly profound ways. So good question, good subject. Liz, any further questions here? I know we went on a whole tangent with your chart sitting here. Any further questions?
No, that's mainly it. I guess you answered them all. Just gotta look within myself.
Man,
Yeah.
talking about that first, there's a lot of energy there.
I feel that for sure.
So you just be
feel it.
careful. You focus on you first, okay? You first.
Okay, me first. Thank you.
Okay, Odie, you're welcome. Odie, I didn't know you were still here. I thought you had left. Are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there she is.
I've been quiet and listening, and really heartfelt warmth for the couple that's been together and have all these matches in their astrology. It's incredible.
Yeah,
did he put an ad out to say, I want a wife that has my moon matching her sun? Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, just because I have my hold on. I have very bad. Is the camera on now?
Yes.
I had to lie on my back, but I was listening.
Oh,
I
good.
hate listening so much.
Oh,
But I've
good.
been yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you're here. And so, did you have any questions? Preguntas?
Yes, I do. If you don't mind, I
Yes.
wanted to know, seeing that I have a lot of the retrogrades, I don't have many planets too much with relationships, and I was just wondering, are some souls here to do another, like to be here for another purpose? That it's this lifetime, it's just not my thing because I've had several relationships and it's just so draining that's why now that I'm single, it's been 3 years, it's just so peaceful and I'm not going through drama and all this. I'm saying maybe it's not in the cards for me now. I mean, my children are grown. I'm on a new chapter. So I'm saying I'm really not looking for one. Is this predetermined on our blueprint?
Yes. Okay. So good night, Liz. And just in case anyone else signs off, I am going to be sharing my offer at the end of class tonight. With your permission, if you want to hear about my course that is starting May 17th. So I will invite you to hear more about that at the end of class, but I do want to get through and answer Odie's question here, which is very important. Muy importante. And so I just wanted to let you know that that is coming. And so I'm very excited about this course. I think it's probably going to be the best course I've taught so far. I can just feel it. I'm at that place now where I can teach better. I can teach better. So I'm excited for it. And
of course, look at students, of course.
Well, it will be my fourth one. So I've had a lot more practice. I've had a lot more training from actually doing it, which is nice. It's nice to actually do it. It'll be my fourth time. So
Awesome.
the first, yes, thank you. And so, Odie, the first thing I see is so interesting is that your south node is in Ophiuchus, which is the energy of ancient secret mystery training. I see you having been a priestess, you were an initiate, you were like a high level priestess, and your destiny point now is in Taurus, which is the earth, which is just normal living, just going out and picking a peach and buying the plants and putting your feet in the earth and just that slow, easeful life. And so Ophiuchus has a lot to do with Tantra, has a lot to do with, raising the Kundalini energy and mastering our energy. And so maybe that's not so much your big focus this lifetime. It's kind of like high level stuff, it takes a lot of energy. right? And one of the best places to practice that is with a partner. And so maybe that is kind of from your past more, like you had a lot of experiences working with energy with a partner one-on-one, and it was very deep and very intense, a lot of energy. And you're like, got that. This lifetime, I want to plant my seeds and sing songs, and I want to sing with the birds, and you just want peace and calm. And so I would imagine you've been attracting partners who are very intense, very deep, very strong energy, like sorcerers and wizards and like, you know, like Star Wars characters. And
Called them Manian, yes.
What'd you say?
One of the last ones, I called them a space cadet alien.
Yes, exactamundo, exactly. And so your destiny this time is really on safety and security and just cozy, earthy. And so you probably have been attracting men from your past. And so because you were maybe living more in your priestess, initiate energy, high level teacher energy, but what God is asking for is for you to get more into planting the garden and building the structures and the everything you can see, feel, taste, and touch. To get out of the more intensity and just into the grounding, into the garden. And that as you pursue that life and you get yourself in alignment with your beingness of what you're here for, then you might attract a partner who's more in alignment with your path. Because I think you've been attracting partners who are in alignment with your old self. So they never worked because they weren't the right ones for who you are to become. Right? Yeah. And so I see you out in your beautiful garden, just sunning yourself and happy as could be. And then maybe the perfect man who matches you shows up that you don't have to try. You don't have to effort. You don't have to, there's no drama. But he grounds you, he supports you, he's there for you. And he could be a doctor, he could be a healer, he could be someone who's very good with his body, he's very aware of health. Only a man who's good with health and healing need apply for you. No other type will work. You need someone who is clean and clear. You're not here to fix any damaged souls anymore, okay?
Oh yeah,
that's what you've been doing because that's who you were. You were a priestess. You could whip anyone into shape. But that's not your direction. That's the past you.
Wow,
So,
that's so healing because in fact that's what I felt like. That's why it's so draining to be in a relationship instead of being in joy and just calm. It's just chaos, sleepless nights, crying, upset. What am I doing this for? You know, the whole everything. So I'm saying, oh my God. So I kind of accept it. I go, I feel better alone. So it's probably my destiny.
I think it's just that you've been attracting men who took you out of your peace. So the more you claim that peace, you don't have to look for him. He'll just show up with the peach tree and he'll plant it in your backyard and he'll deliver you a peach on a plate with some honey and some mint. And you'll go, he's here. I didn't have to go anywhere. That's how love will show up for you.
Wow.
It will be peaceful and easy. And it might happen because Venus is going to move over your Jupiter in the next month. Could be a really powerful time for meeting someone. That or a lot of money. Either way, that's a good deal.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win. Okay.
One's gonna be more of a win than the other, but
maybe both at the same time.
There you go. Been there, done that.
Exactamundo. Exactamundo.
That's unbelievable how everything you see in the chart, like it validates so much the feelings. You know, sometimes you have feelings and you're just like, am I normal? Is this the way it's supposed to be? mine oddball, but it's like really when they say it's written in the stars, truly is.
Yeah. They just haven't been taking you to the right stars until now.
Yeah.
That's why so many people have been lost and confused. And so that's why I'm here, because I want to give access to this to as many people as possible. And I want to empower as many people as possible to do it too, so that we can go out there and really share these gifts with the world. Yes.
What
Yes.
did Anna write? I have what? The 7th?
Yeah. So Anna said, okay.
Something of my 7th house is in my first.
So Anna, I'm guessing that you have heard that Mercury rules Virgo. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's what since my 7th house planet was also in my first, and then another person also had Mars, and now she also has Mercury, which rules Virgo in her
So
first
hold
house.
on. I don't follow that. I don't think Mercury is a good ruler for Virgo. Mercury is a male deity, and Virgo is the mother of the sky. It's one of the most feminine energies of the sky. And I was teaching my last master class, and I said, no way is Mercury the ruler of Virgo. And so I came up with 2 other rulers.
Oh, which one? Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
know.
So this one right here is Kiri, and it is the goddess of the harvest. And it's all about nurturing and caring. It's how we nurture people the best. So the ruler of your 7th house, this is interesting, Odi, is in Aquarius. So that would be a new age thinker. That would be a new age type being. But it would also be someone in the 12th house, which is Piscean. So he'd be very meditative, but into technology. Right. And so you might meet them at a meditation retreat. You might meet them doing a spiritual retreat. You might meet them through technology over the internet. Or he could just walk up to you with a peach. One of the 2. Right? But I had to share that because most people think that Mercury rules Virgo. That's what you'll read all over the internet. And so it just came to me like a lightning bolt when I was doing my last master class that shouldn't a feminine energy rule a sign that's so feminine in nature, that's so loving, that's so abundant and feminine? And so I came across Kiran, or Kiri, I'm sorry, not Kiran, Kiri, C-E-R-E, or Ceres. It's the goddess of the harvest. I'll write it in the chat so you can spell it. Ceres. So there's 2 names. You can either look up Ceres or Demeter, ruler of Virgo, goddess of the crops, agriculture, and abundance. And so Virgo is the nurturer. She's all about the plants and the trees and the abundance of the harvest. Okay, so it's a very beautiful energy. And so that also means, Odi, that you nourish people around New Age ideas. Like you have very New Age vision of humanity, and you're very good at nourishing community, nourishing the brotherhood and sisterhood of the earth. Yeah.
And the Virgo energy you're getting from the 7th house, because it's on the outside of the circle, right? Okay. And then the moon that's in the 8th, with is that Pluto? Neptune?
Neptune.
Okay. What does that element in the relationships? Does that represent something with the mother?
So that means that so the 8th house often represents our sexuality and also how we handle depth and intensity. And so when you have the moon there, it means you're able to be very deep and nurturing with people. Okay. In a love relationship, you might have like a nurturing energy to your partner. So you would want to have a man who likes that. Now, different men are different. Some men like to be nurtured and held and like loved on that in that way. And some men, it's like, whoa, no, I can't handle that. Whatever. But you would want a partner who is very loving, not just physical, but just very loving and nurturing to you. Right. So you need a very sensitive and caring man and partner. It's in Libra. So it means you're very good at nurturing people on a societal level, like all your relationships. You're very nurturing of your friendships and your relationships. Yeah.
And does the mother show up in any of the things of the relationship with the mother?
Well, of course it would, because Virgo rules your 7th house, right? And moon is in your 8th. But I need a little more here about what your question is.
Well, no, to know if there's a difficult relationship with the mother, if it shows up on the birth chart on the relationship side, let's say.
Well, of course it would. What's your question though?
Okay, so I'll say I have a difficult relationship with my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And is there
Yeah,
a reason?
so that would be the moon in the 8th house.
Yeah.
It's conjunct Neptune, which is retrograde, which tells us of karma with the mother. 8th house is very deep. Things related to death, related to sex, related to initiations. Neptune is spiritual, so this could be religious. This could be things like illusion or delusion. This could be a mother who's not fully present, not fully grounded, not really fully able to be that strong, nurturing mother energy. And so this could mean that one of the big healings you have is with the mother energy, because she was not able to be that loving presence. And yet it also means that you'll become very nurturing because of what you went through with her.
You are exactly bullseye again.
She was also probably very social.
Yes.
Where you didn't get that support you needed because she was just like it's in air, right? Moon in air, like moon should be water. So when moon is in air, it's not fulfilling its like natural function. So it's not as deeply supportive the way that, you know, a loving mother just like drops so deep in and holds you, right? And you have such amazing mother energy, which is like phenomenal that this was an issue for you, right? But maybe that's what drove you to become as loving as you are. And so that also means to be very careful with men who are looking for mothers, right? Because you also had the wound with a mother. You might attract men who have wounds with the mother, and you're both trying to work that issue out. And so as you heal that wound with the mother, you're going to stop attracting men who also have that wound.
That's so right. Yeah, I keep telling my children, if they often tell me, well, but Mother's Day coming up, that they're so happy to have a mom like me. And I said, I think I chose my mother to observe and do the complete opposite.
That's right. Right.
Without being mean or condescending, or just observing how I felt as a child versus what they're going through. So I said, everything I experienced, I said I would never do that if I had a child.
Right. Right.
And so it does what they say in psychology. I think you choose like a contrast.
Right. Same
That's
or
cool.
different.
Yeah, exactly. You either imitate or you just say, wow, that's nuts. I'm not going to do that, or I'd never be that way. But it's just their nature, right? They come into the game with their own wounds and unconscious, especially if it's in an air sign, maybe has no consciousness of their actions or lack of.
I'm also hearing that healing this wound with your mother is very important for you, because it is conjunct the ruling planet of all of your Pisces planets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So this wound with mama could very well be connected to the Chiron wound, which could be one of the biggest stops you have with, or issues with your feet. So it could relate to unresolved stuff with mom. And it doesn't always, because the mom is pivotal to our development. It is 9 months in her womb. Okay, so my guess would be to look at ancestral and inherited energy there that you took on from her. Most of the time, what their issue wasn't even them. It was the ancestral trauma that they came in with, that they were literally unaware of and had no tools to fix it. And then they had their coping mechanisms to heal that oftentimes hurt you. So at the end of the day, we're all dealing with thousands of years of really complex human dynamics between our ancestors and all the things that has happened in history. And when we take that bigger perspective, it can be easier to have some forgiveness for why they were so whack, why they were so whack growing up with our familia. See, so
Yeah.
you're not alone, and you have what it takes to get through this. And now maybe this will help you with resolving the mama thing, to help you be free to create your own home where you want to be. See, where you want to be. So you have
Yes,
to clear what was to create what you will be.
that's amazing. And this is the thing we can do with you one-on-one to go maybe deeper,
We
like
can, yes, I have
like
lots,
that.
yes, so we can go one-on-one deeper if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'd like that.
And if you would like to, if I have your permission, I'd like to share with you what I will be offering starting next week. It's a very exciting course. And so I thought I would share with you, with your permission,
Yes, for sure.
what the course will entail, what it will be all about. Oh, I want to share one last testimonial before I go into it. So this was my first astrology reading, my very first one. Well, official one. I did it with my mom, and we had neighbors who lived next door to us. And so this is from her mother. We met Lotus and her mom many moons ago in the Santa Cruz Mountains. After having our daughter Bija, my mom, Elizabeth, offered to give her a reading, and I assisted. Throughout the years, we have seen many things that my mom and I mentioned in the reading come to fruition. Their insight and intuition have been a spot on, and it's been miraculous to witness firsthand as our daughter blossoms. Sidereal astrology truly follows the rhythm of the moon calendar rather than the Gregorian, and that slight shift seems to hold much gravity and truth. So this system I've been using, God, we did this little girl is now about 15 years old. So we did this literally like 12 or 15 years ago. And so it's absolutely incredible to actually be able to come to you now and share this offering and this course with you. So let me go ahead and unshare, and I'm going to share the page if you wanted to sign up and register. It's going to be a very beautiful class. It's going to be my 4th master class. Does anyone have any questions about it before I go through and just share with you more about what it's about?
Well, I had a general question. At the end of the class, does it make you have, I don't know, like a certification, or is it a level of understanding your own chart, or you can actually be of service and be an astrologer?
Yeah.
At what caliber is it?
Yeah. So my goal with this course is to give you the tools so that you can go out there and begin practicing. I don't want to just empower you. I want to literally give you skills so that you can take what you learn and you can start using it and potentially, turn it into a business, turn it into something where you're getting to share your work with the world. And so, yes, it's designed for someone who would both like to learn about themselves and begin to use this to assist other people, right? To really take this and use it to basically open up what I know and hand it on over as much as possible to you so that you can kind of do what I do. And as you can see from this training, that's very powerful. Like, would you want to have the ability to sit down with any person, simply get their astrological information, and from there be able to completely blow their minds? Would you like to have that ability? Yeah. Would you like to be able to assist your friends and your family with what their life purpose is, with, right? We went over that, right? We went over life purpose. We went over greatest wound. And so what this class is going to be all about is the first step. We'll be going through and highlighting what are, you know, what is this chart? We're going to go deeper on that. We're going to get the foundation of it really solid. We're going to go deeper into the ascendant, the IC, the DS, the MC, deeper, because we just barely covered the surface. Then we're going to look at what are the 5 points of purpose. So how do you identify purpose in a chart? Then we're going to be looking at wealth. How do we identify wealth in someone's chart? But I only gave you a couple things. I'm going to give you all of it. Okay, so you just got the Reader's Digest format. Can you believe that? This was just the Reader's Digest format. This was like not going deep. And I'm just holding back because I could say a lot more. Okay, we're going to find out things like your soul planet. We're going to go deeper on the destiny point. We're going to find out, okay, what are the planetary rulers? And here's the really insane thing. I just taught a 13 class, master class that you will get access to for a year when you sign up. And those 13 classes go through all of the houses. So it's a journey around the zodiac wheel. So you'll learn about Aries, you'll learn about Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, you'll learn about all the planets, you'll learn about that energy, and it's a group. So you'll also get to see me do examples with clients and their charts around each thing. And it's like my Magnus Opum so far, because it was literally 13 classes around the entire astrological wheel. It was very transformational. So this class is not only to bring you information about how to read someone else's chart, but it's also to get you trained in what is, you know, True the Stars astrology. What are the signs? What are the planets? What are the houses? What are aspects? Okay, so I wrote out a little description of what the class will be. Let me just find it here. It's very impressed with what I wrote. So what is a chart? So class 1, what is a chart? What are the components needed to read a chart, and how the astrology chart relates to our physical body? Where do we start? The ascendant through the midheaven, setting and identifying the 4 pillars and foundation of the chart. So I'll just go through this. I'll share it with you. Okay, you come into my Facebook page. Okay, so what is a chart? What are the components? Where do we start? The ascendant through the midheaven. Finding purpose and wealth. Couples compatibility, how to find love in an astrological chart. The secret to health and healing. So basically, we're going to take this 5-day challenge that we've done, and we're going to 10x it. And so I'm going to be able to give you my secret formulas that I haven't shared with you, right? So I gave you enough for you to begin to get it, but I didn't give you all because I wanted to save some for the master class, right? For those of you who are really ready to go deeper. And then the last class is going to be putting it into practice. And so giving you a chance to read each other's chart, to bring in examples so that we can really test out and see how, right? And we'll have that opportunity throughout the class, right? As we get the whole structure in, we get the aspects, we get compatibility, we get health. And as a bonus, I will be offering a healing on the Chiron wound. So we'll be diving deep on clearing that for everyone. And also, what does it mean for each person to have Chiron where? As well as an extra class where I will reveal to you information I learned from my mentor, who's allowed and assisted me to make this into a business, about how to market your astrology skills. So not only will I train you how to use them and how to use the chart, but I'll also empower you to get out there, to get out on social media and to share what you have to offer. Okay. And let's see here. You will also get 2 one-on-one sessions with me, right? So I used to give just one one-on-one with me because it's a lot, right? It's a lot that I'm giving in this package. But what has been revealed to me is that you really need at least 2 sessions with me. You need one for us to just touch bases and to see where you're at, to see what your questions are. And then you need another one to dive in and then do any healings around any issues that are definitely going to come up. Like I will warn you, like this course is not for everyone. This course is only for people who are really ready to face whatever is in your way and transform it. Because as we dive into this chart, one of the side effects that happens is that the things that are holding you back are going to surface. Because we're going to be together in sort of a space like this. We're going to be learning information like we've been learning. And have you noticed things are coming up as we go through each day, like awarenesses, insights? Yeah, it's a bit of a process. And so I'm also going to be doing a bit of energy clearing during the classes, just to make sure if anything comes up that's really big, we can shift it. And so that's a really cool thing to have. Yeah. Any questions so far? Yeah.
How long does the course last? Like it goes from May till when?
So it's going to be 6 weeks, 6 classes. So it's going to start around May 17th and it's going to go from 6 weeks. There may be an additional 2 weeks, give or take, to those 6 weeks. So it might be around more like 8 weeks, but that's approximately the time span. I'm also happy, like if people are traveling, I know one of my students is traveling in June, and so that we might push class. We might have a little 2-week break in June. So it'll be May, we'll start, and then June, maybe mid-June, we'll continue. So
and is it a once a week on Zoom, or how did you plan the schedule?
It'll be once a week on Zoom. And then there's the 2 sessions with me. And then you'll also get access for 1 year to my prior class. So, you know, during your downtime, you can be watching it in your spare time and just sort of taking in what the signs are, what the houses are, and also getting any questions together. And then as a second or third bonus, I'm going to be starting a monthly Q&A membership. And so that membership will be $47. And if you join this masterclass, which is beginning in May, you're going to get a 1-year free access to the Q&A. So in addition to the 2 sessions with me and then the 6 classes, you're also going to get access to me once a month for a Q&A. Okay, so that will be ongoing. So once the course ends, it's not like, oh, that was great, bye-bye. We'll keep the relationship going because I really want to nurture you and support you to take these skills and actually use them. And what I've found is that we do a training and it's wonderful and we're excited, and then they're gone and we kind of forget, what was I doing? What was I doing? So I want to keep you all engaged and excited, because that's what gets me excited, right? And so I want to have this once monthly meeting where you can ask me questions, you can bring your tough cases, because I still have clients, I have students, messaging me about their tough cases. And so I'm going to be opening this Q&A to quite a few more people. So it's going to be a big Q&A where you can all come and get your questions once a month. As you can tell, I don't stop. Okay. So you will get your questions answered. I just keep going until it's done. I don't stop. I'm like Energizer Bunny when it comes to this work. I don't know how, but God, you know what it is? It's brainwave state.
It's your passion, right?
Yes.
So
Yes, it is. It is led by source.
yes.
Nothing. My human self would just be picking flowers or something. But yes, soul has led me to this. So it begins. You guys, this is amazing. I scheduled the date for it beginning May 17th or May 18th. It's a Friday or Saturday. And I scheduled it on the biggest abundance portal I've seen. So the first day of class is going to be a day when we have literally the sun, Venus, moon, like all these planets in Taurus. So it's just like super abundance day. Super, super, super abundance day. I just thought, what a great way to start a new project that's going to have very deep roots, because my vision is not just to train astrologers. My vision is to create a movement, like an organization with a lot of people. And I want to lead, but I also want to share and co-create and build. I want to build a foundation, right? I want to build a place for people who are like-minded, who have beautiful souls, who are intelligent, who are caring, who are kind, who want to assist other people and to use this work together to create a better world, right? And I can see this being applicable to high schools. I could see this being applicable to police officers and doctors and lawyers and nurses and therapists and coaches and teachers and moms, right? This work is so applicable to every person. And young people who want to get a job, right, doing some type of work, but they don't fit into this system, you could read astrology charts, right? So it's this powerful work that really gives people who are unique, who have a different way of doing things, an opportunity to also create wealth and abundance. And I see this possibility. I see it so clearly. And I'm like, oh, well, I could contribute just this little bit. And that little bit could mean a lot. And so that's really what I'm here to share. So if it's all right with you, I just want to share the masterclass page. So if anyone is feeling inspired, I have a special discount for all of you because you've been here all week. Okay. I normally charge $2,000 for this level of support because you're literally getting trained in my method. I'm giving you my secrets. I'm giving you my secrets. I'm giving you the things that will enable you to give people themselves. How powerful is that? And I also want to make sure that this is the right fit for you, right? So are you someone who has integrity? Are you someone who people can trust the deepest parts of their soul with, right? I want you to be someone who has integrity, who cares, who has compassion, emotional intelligence. Because to be able to know this about people is one of the biggest responsibilities on the planet, right? Think about that. Like you're holding in your hand these person's biggest weakness and biggest strength. So with great power comes great responsibility. And so I want to make sure that you're all, whoever signs up, that this aligns for you. Okay. And so I normally charge $2,000, but because you guys have been here all week, you've been devoted, you've just shown up, I want to offer you a discount. And so those of you that sign up tonight, you sign up by Sunday at midnight. And if you decide to sign up, you can go to blossomwithlotus.com/masterclass. Okay. And you'll come to this page. It starts May 17th or 18th. Okay. You will get 6 one-on-one guided True the Stars astrology trainings focused on guiding the beginner at learning how to read an astrological chart, plus 2 bonus classes. Now, what's great is that you've already been through this 5-day challenge. So you have already learned way more than the average person out there. Like if I gave you a chart right now, you could probably start to read it. You already have been, huh? You started reading it without you even noticing you were reading it. And that's my secret. You never let them know that they're already doing it. You're already doing it. Okay. So the bonuses, marketing Q&A, how to get your business out there. Really, like secrets from the best. Secrets from the best. That's why I'm here, because I learned how to do this. 2, the wounded healer, as well as I will give you some demonstrations on how to use my energy clearing method. Okay, so we're going to work on clearing Chiron, and I'm also going to give you some insight into what I do. So it will be easy for you to start to heal yourself. Kind of a big bonus there. Okay, 2 one-on-one personal energy clearing sessions. So if you wanted to do work with me already, I've kind of been like, well, hold on. If you want to take the course, you'll get 2. Okay, so before you buy sessions, if this speaks to you, if this is something you want to do, here they are. Plus, you will get 25% off of Prometheus software. And so Prometheus software is the software I use, which will enable you to get access to making every single chart you want, from your mama to your papa to your friend to your cousin. You can make any chart, the future, the past, the present. You'll be free to make charts. Okay, so you'll get 25% off that software, and you will get 1-year access to my most recent masterclass training, 13 classes in total, including 1 Prometheus software training about how to use the software, guiding you through all the houses, the planets and signs. You'll get your chart, and you'll also get access to a very private Facebook group. And that group will be this really powerful container where you'll get to share your questions, your thoughts, your insights, and ideally build a really beautiful space for collaboration and connection. Okay. I am offering a payment option, if you can't pay $1,500 in full, of 3 payments of $600. So that will be a little bit more than $1,500, but you will get to pay 3 segues. Okay. So this is my offer. It'll be $1,500 until Sunday at midnight. So that will be May 12th at midnight. And then whoever signs up, I'm going to set up an interview with you during the following week, just to check in, to see where you're at, to see, you know, this is really the right fit for you, to get an idea of what your intentions are for the course, so that I can really prepare for everyone and get you ready for the best course ever. But I mean, to be honest, you're all well on your way just from this 5-day training. So any questions while we're here with all the information?
Those 3 payments, when is that?
Yeah, so 3 payments. So you can pay, it will start, your first payment will start, and then it will be 3 payments of $600. So bi-weekly. So it'll be about $600 over 3 weeks, or I think that means every week. Bi-weekly?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Thank you. I don't understand. They just create the little option there. So yes, so $600 every 2 weeks over the course. So it'll be broken up over 2-week periods. Okay, so either 1 full payment of $1,500 or 3 payments of 600 every 2 weeks over the course. Now, if for whatever reason this payment allotment or there's any issues, please message me privately. I'm happy to talk to you about it. I would like to receive payment during the course as opposed to after. That would be nice for me. Just because after a course is ended, it's just harder to like complete things, right? So any other questions here while we have access to all this info? So it's a lot. It's really a lot I've packed in here. I just wanted to see how much I could put, how much value I could pack together into an offering. And it will enable you to begin your journey with assisting other people with their charts. And at the end of the training, I do have an option. If you do want to receive a certificate from me, and this option is that you would do 10 readings. I'm going to come up with a rubric of like a list of like a checklist of what needs to happen in that reading to make it successful. Of course, you have free reign after you get this material to do it any way you like. But if you would like to receive a certificate from me saying, yes, you completed this 6-week training, and yes, you have the capability of doing this reading, I've checked it, then I will give you the option at the end, if you want it, to do 6 of your own readings for people, and then send me your 11th. And on that 11th video, I will sit and I will go through it with the rubric and just check off the boxes that you're accomplishing all the things that need to be accomplished in a reading. And during the course, ideally, I'll come up with at the beginning what the requirements are going to be to pass that certification, so that at the end and during each class, you can make sure that you're learning the things you need to learn to pass that rubric, that test at the end. Okay. So that is how you can get your certification from me, and I will figure out how to print those out and get your name and send them, hopefully something with a nice big gold something on it with my name and logo and all that kind of fun stuff. But yes, that is an option. Yeah. Any further questions? Any comments? Anyone? Just any info questions here? And we are starting next week. So I'm really just, people who are ready to jump in, you're ready to take action. I want to reward you with this lower price. It will go up to $2,000 on Sunday, after Sunday. Okay. The 1-year access to my most recent masterclass is probably a $2,000 value alone, because you're getting each house in detail. What is that house about? What is that house ruled by? What sign? What planet? And then we're going through each person's chart in the course, and we're literally looking at that house in detail. So it's a very, very big value. And I'm excited. I'm excited to share it with more people. I'm very proud of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any
Nice one.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
Is that the website for the software?
Let's see here. I believe so. Yeah, I have a in with the software company, so I can get everyone that discount.
Okay. Let me share with the right one. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been bringing them a lot of business over the years. It's been good.
Lotus, I had a question.
Sure thing. Go ahead.
Is there any notes that are for like each class, or do we take notes, or is there ebook or some kind of material?
Yeah, so thus far, I mean, that's a great idea. It'll be in your hands to take notes. You can also, they're going to be recorded, so you're going to get all the videos of our training. And it's very possible to have those transcribed. So you can simply print out all of the information. At some point, it might be possible for me to print out some type of book with notes. I haven't done that yet, but that's a great idea. At this point, it's simply writing notes and then the experiential, right? So a lot of practice. So each class will have a lot of practice with actually, like we did in this.
Yeah.
Basically looking at a concept, looking at an idea, and then seeing how it plays out in our own chart. Right? Really seeing, putting it to work. Right? Because what's going to happen is you're going to be given other people's charts. And so the practice that you do on your own chart is starting to get you able to be able to do that for someone else. And a lot of this is experiential.
Yes, and visual.
And visual, highly visual and highly interactive. Would you say you learned more from listening to me talk or from watching me do the readings with each person?
Me personally, when it's on the screen and you're explaining, you're speaking of it, the two register more and you remember it more, I find, than just reading in a book, let's say.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I see that I'm doing is I'm a vibration and I'm transmitting to all of you. Have you ever heard of the word groking? Do you know what groking means?
Nope.
So to groke means to basically learn from someone from just being in their presence. Like Jesus would come and people would sit next to him.
Yeah.
They were learning through his vibration. And so what I help to teach my students through is the vibration of knowing a chart, because that's the vibration I have, because I've been learning the chart for so long that it's a part of me. And so I help to teach and give that gift to all of you, that you too can know how to read it. And so it's like a vibrational gift that I transmit through my teachings. And I didn't realize that was happening.
Your presence, for sure.
Right. And so it's a beautiful gift. I love being able to give this gift to others, that you can read a chart and then to imagine what you can do with it. Right? Did you know that the average astrological, how much someone can charge for a reading?
Yes.
About $140 for 30 minutes.
Mm.
And so, people teaching, this is a highly well paid niche. And it's not something that has to take a long time to learn, which is nice. So it's something you could start doing, as soon as we start doing classes, you can start practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the class, you're going to be flying. I already have students who have a podcast, and she sends me constantly charts to look at because she's doing it all the time now. She loves it, right? So I really want people who are really excited, who really love this work, who are inspired to sign up, right? So if this speaks to you, this is something you want to do, definitely sign up. Any questions about the training? Now, if the masterclass, just for whatever reason, does not fit, I will be still offering the once monthly Q&A, and that is going to be $47 per month. So if that's something you want to sign up for, just shoot me a message and I'll happily add you to the group. However, if you're like, this is it, I want to take a plunge, there's not a better time than now, because True to the Stars Sidereal Astrology is right at the borderline between not that many people knowing and bursting through into the mainstream culture. And I know this is happening because I was at a restaurant and I sat down and I said, I'm about to do a masterclass teaching astrology to these people I was talking to. And they said, oh, is it 13 sign or the regular? And I went,
Wow.
What? Are you kidding me? How did you know about that? And so it's literally about to happen. And so this is the time. If ever there was a time to learn this astrology and begin practicing it and sharing it with the world as an astrologer, this is the time. Because more and more people next year, the destiny point goes into Aquarius. Aquarius is astrology. Next year, people are going to be so into the occult. They're going to be so into astrology. It's just going to be off the chain. So I highly recommend, whether you get in with me, you get in with someone else, this is an amazing time. Amazing time. So that is my offer. This will be up, and I will be extending the 1,500 rate until Sunday at midnight. At that point, it will go back up to 2,000. I really, if you do decide to do it, I want you to get the good deal. So sign up soon. And I've been so awesome to have you all here. I hope you all have learned a ton. And even if this is, it where our paths separate, I know that your lives have been changed and that you're learned way more than you ever counted on, I would imagine. Yeah, any questions, any comments before we finish up here? It's been awesome getting to hang with you all.
I just want to say it was more than I bargained for, and it has been phenomenal. So I appreciate it, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome, Coach. You've been a great contribution, and lovely to have a 30 years married couple here with us live to truly see the power of love to last. Yeah. Phoebe, thanks for being here. Sonia, thanks for being here. Odie, thanks for being here. If you have any questions, you need to find out any information about the training, please reach out. I know it may fill up fast, so if you want to get a spot, I'm going to cap it off at a certain number. So if you want to get in, just reach out so I know that you're interested. That way I can save space for you. Yeah.
You've been very, very generous with your time and your attention.
Yeah.
It's heartfelt, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right. Much love, my friends, and may all the gifts and blessings march with you through all of time and space.
No me sale. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
you're so
Lotus.
welcome, Bibi. You're so welcome. So much love. Mwah. Aloha.
Bye bye.
Aloha.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.